Hello, hello. How's it going? Welcome to the Thursday night live stream. Uh, I cannot figure out how to I'm too slow to stop the music and then start the countdown. There's always like a several second lag in between. Oh, you know what? I was gonna try to go live from YouTube tonight so I could play around with the filters. I really want to try that one of these nights because I did it last night, but it was so dark I couldn't really see how the filters worked. Um, and I have to go through my StreamYard because my storage is full already. It's been full for weeks, and so I can't actually like record any of these to StreamYard if I want to like edit them. So that's annoying. But anyway, let's see. Hello, Tara. I'm excited to hear whatever it is we're gonna learn next Monday at your live stream. I saw your title. I was like, is that clickbait? I love shit like that. Hey all, I'm on my way to the grocery store. I'll be here in the background. Okay, cool. Hey Morrison. I just love the countdown music. Yeah, I don't there's not a whole lot of I like the rock music as like background music. But there's not a whole lot of things to choose from. I don't really like any of the other ones. I thought my phone was switched to Kevin's stream. Mm. This is the first time I've used this kind of coffee and it's strong. I bought these pods that I got. I've never gotten this kind before. They were like my local grocery store's brand. And they were buy one, get one free. So I got way more than I normally would get. But and they are pods, but they're those like compostable ones. So they're all individual, which first of all, I think it's great that they're compostable, but then they're all individually wrapped in plastic. So it kind of like defeats the purpose. And which means I can't put them in my little K cup holder. Hey Megan, how are you? How's it going? So I did get a new Keurig today. Um, yeah, I don't know what was going on with mine, but I had a little hissy fit, as I like to call them, last night. I called Keurig. They weren't a whole lot of help. They're like, "Can you clean this? Can you clean that?" I'm like, "Lady, it's literally like a week and a half, 2 weeks old, if that." Whenever the Monday after Black Friday was, is when I got it. So we ended up going to BJ's today. We called first, and the manager said, we said, we don't have the box. We don't have the receipt. It's obviously on the account that we bought it. They're like, just bring it and we'll exchange it. So I have no idea what the issue was. But I got it exchanged today. So my first stream will be interesting. Yeah, Morrison, I'm excited about it. My first stream, and that's the thing, like I don't know how it works with YouTube because I always use StreamYard, but I pre-scheduled my first stream on YouTube, not on StreamYard, but on YouTube, and then I tried to access it and I couldn't do it. I don't know if it was because I wasn't doing it from a computer. I was doing it from like an iPad, but I could not access the link that I pre-scheduled. So that's why people were waiting in there and I had to do a whole new live stream. So I had some issues, but other than that, it went well. Have no clue. I never know what I'm doing, Morrison, ever. It's not clickbait, LOL. I really have something to tell you. Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Just a long time to wait. My wife definitely added a clickbait. Yeah, I've used I didn't even realize at first. I think Morrison, you're the one who told me, and now I can't even remember what it was. I'm pretty sure I either changed the title or deleted the stream. God only knows why. Oh, I guess it was the one where I said I was on fire, but like my hands literally felt like they were on fire. I thought it was on Kevin's stream because of the countdown music. Oh, okay. I used to use it, but I stopped. I don't know why, because I'm not as like professional and put together as Kevin is. Kevin's on top of his shit. That's not me. um, let's see. Yeah, I don't know, Morrison. I don't know what the issue was. So basically with this, it's the Keurig Slim or yeah, the Keurig Slim Plus, and like you close the lid, you hit your how many ounces you want, and then you hit the brew button, and it would start for like 3 seconds, then it would just stop and it wouldn't do anything. So I have no idea what the issue was. Um, and now Morrison, I'm like second guessing what I was telling you I was going to talk about on here. Wow, that was a bad one. I've had mine for about 3 years. Yeah, so the one I had before this was like a hand-me-down. I had a Slim Keurig before, and I don't even remember what happened to it. I had it in my last apartment, and I had to get rid of it for some reason, but no clue why. So this one, the one that I'd used before was my mom's friend's, but it just I don't know. It was a pain in the ass. You had to fill it up every single time, and there was no like you couldn't see the water tank, so there was no way to know if you were putting too much water in it or not enough water in it. So I just hope this one works out because I do like it and it brews super quick. My only complaint is that I think because of how fast it brews, it doesn't warm up the coffee enough and it tends to get cold pretty quickly. Um, hey Gonzo, how are ya? I wanted to ask you before because I didn't want to sound like an idiot if you came in. I'm afraid I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of your name, and I forgot I was actually going to look up the pronunciation, but can you tell me, and please don't take offense if I butcher it, is it Guillermo? Is that how you pronounce your name? And I'm really sorry if that's incorrect. Hey Slow-Mo, how you doing? Oh yeah, you said you were on fire and well, didn't I put like a laughing emoji or something? Like, I don't know, like I don't know. I thought it was funny. I was like, nobody's gonna take this seriously. It's gonna be funny, you know? Looking great. Oh, thanks, Gonzo. Normally I try to, well, not normally. About half the time I try to come on looking somewhat presentable with my makeup done, but tonight's not it. That's not the night tonight. Um, Sup, Gonzo. Glad you made it. Doing well. Hope you are too, bro. I know. I need to go back and watch your interview that you did with Kevin last night because I missed some of it. Um, Hi Tara, how's my NorCal girl doing? Doing all right? Sure, people say it that way. Yeah, but can you tell me how I'm supposed to say it or I don't know how you're going to tell me, but um it was hilarious, but Mama Cindy. I know. Well, I didn't even think about it until she came in and said something. I was like, "Oh crap, I didn't mean to make anybody worry. I thought it was funny." All right, it's pronounced Guillermo. Wait. Oh, so there's no L. All right, let me see. Let me listen to how Google pronounce roll the R. I don't I can roll R's when I'm singing, but I'm not sure if I can do it. Hang on, let's listen to how she does it. They're gonna make me watch an ad to hear how to pronounce your name. Of course they are. All right, ready?
We are looking at how to pronounce these names. We'll be looking at how to say more Spanish names that many struggle with.
Just tell me how to pronounce it.
Stay tuned to the channel to learn more. Guillermo.
Oh.
Guillermo.
Guillermo? Guillermo. Guillermo. Is that right? I can't roll R's, bruh. I'll come on later just so you can hear it. Guillermo. Is that the LL is a J sound? Like the director. Well, see, I pronounced that director's name how I pronounced your name last time. Perfect. Okay, good. I might say it wrong a few times. Just so you know, like when I first started calling Morrison, because Slow-Mo's name is Morrison, I kept going back and forth between Slow-Mo and Morrison because it takes me a little bit. But eventually I'll get it down. I'm chilling, Gonzo, feeling pretty good today. That's good, Tara. 2 more days for you before your treatment. Oh, you know what? I was going to ask you about that because you had mentioned, I can't remember if you mentioned it in your video or in Kevin's stream, but you had talked about how, what was it last time you got a 100 milligram dose and then a 50 milligram dose, and this time you were going to request or ask or whatever, get it in one dose. Is that like, are you sort of in control of your dose? I guess is what I'm asking. I'm glad you're feeling good, Tara. Or you can just call me Mimo. Is that Mimo or Memo? Mimo or Memo? A memo. Oh, Memo. Oh, Lord. See, the problem with me is that I have a very bad memory, very, very bad memory. I'm going to try Guillermo. I just have to remember. If I look at the spelling, I'm going to mess it up. So I just have to try to remember Guillermo. Mo and Memo. Let's start a band, yo. That's funny. So I had to go. I went to my mom's today and we had to bake more cookies and we're still not done. Like, but we have all the ones that I don't like left, like the gingerbread cookies. But by the time we got, like, we had to go shopping and stuff. And by the time we got back home, my mom had a virtual appointment. So she's like, all right, I'm going to leave you alone to do these. And they were what are they called? These little cookies. I can't even remember now what they're called. But anyway, I'm like, you can't leave me unattended in the kitchen when it comes to baking. Cooking, sure, but I can't bake. And so I ended up like having a little hissy fit because everything was coming out wrong and I accidentally dumped in the almond flavoring because I didn't realize it came out of the thing that fast. Oh, look, my mom just sent me a picture of her dog, Sadie, with some weird hat or ears on. Look at Sadie. She's funny. So anyway, I did that and then I came home and I had a bunch of Amazon packages here. They were Christmas gifts. So I opened them and one of them, which was one for my mom, a book of artwork, there's 2 rips in the dust jacket. And I was like, crap. So I submitted for a replacement. And as soon as I hit submit, it said that they were on back order and that I wouldn't get the replacement until the end of January, early February. So I ended up having to call Amazon to have them cancel that because I'm not waiting that long. She's just going to have to get it with a damaged dust jacket, and then if she wants to return it, we'll do it then. But yeah, I've been in a little bit of a pissy mood, but I'm feeling much better now. My nurse practitioner gives me the freedom to make the decision about dose along with her. I'm not sure what we'll actually end up doing. Okay. Interesting. Are you comfortable making those decisions? I can play the spoons. Can you? Sadie is cute. Sadie is adorable. Sadie is actually a reject cop dog. My mom, for those of you who don't know, used to do search and rescue, live find, human remains detection, responded to 9/11, all that. And she doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't really have any working dogs. They've all passed, all the dogs that she had. But this particular dog was in training to be in the police academy and flunked out and needed a home with somebody who knew how to deal with dogs like that. So, and she's a great, I mean, but we're very nervous that she was at the very least neglected in some ways. She's extremely, extremely needy, but she's a great dog. So, LOL, no, I have no talent. Oh Lord, I'm sure you do. I feel like everybody has talent. I can play several instruments, but just like basics, like basic chords, things like that. There's no one that I can do very well, which I kind of regret. But I sing. Singing's my thing. I'm not even a great singer or anything, but I love to do it and I'm going to do it no matter what. So, musically. Oh, she's adorable. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's a really good girl. She's very, very high maintenance, very high strung. Panics if she has to leave my mom's side for anything. I followed her lead for the first 4 sessions. Now that I'm more experienced, I have points of reference to help her make the decision. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with it. But as long as it's helping you in the long run, I feel like that's all that matters. Hmm. Anyway, what's everybody up to tonight? Oh, I was going to plug my tree in tonight. I literally have plugged it in twice since I set it up. You guys, I felt so guilty because I ate like literal garbage yesterday. I got these hangover noodles. So I ate my first meal yesterday right before Kevin's live stream. So right before 5 p.m. I ate for the first time, and they were these hangover noodles, they're called. I had been craving ramen noodles, and obviously ramen is garbage, but it's from like an authentic restaurant, whatever. So traditionally, these hangover noodles are served with, they're very, very spicy. Did I tell you guys this already? I feel like I told you guys this, but when would I have told you? Um, they have like a really spicy ginger sriracha, like dry seasoning on them. And then on the side, you get like a sriracha sauce. I don't use that because it's spicy enough without it. And it comes with like green onion, fried egg, and traditionally spam, right? Because spam is like a delicacy in Asian countries. I ordered mine with pork belly. I was going to do steak, but I was like, you know what? I don't think I've had pork belly. So that's how I ordered it. And they ended up giving me both spam and pork belly. But it wasn't even a huge serving. So I didn't feel too guilty about it. So I ate that. And then I had such a headache that I couldn't eat for hours and hours after. And then by the time I picked my dad up and got back to town, it was almost 11 p.m. And I'm like, crap, I'm starving, but it's too late to go home and cook anything. And I don't have anything to cook anyway. So he wanted to run in the store on the way home because he didn't have any milk. He's been out of town for almost 3 weeks. So we went into the store and all they had left that was prepared was like the little cheeseburger sliders, like the mini ones. So I got 2 cheeseburger sliders and had a Christmas cookie. And then today I was like, I think I gained 43 pounds. I know it's not healthy, but I forgot to moisturize when I got out of the shower. Nothing. Don't have any plans. How many dogs do you have? I'm gonna butcher it again. I'm gonna have to write like the pronunciation somewhere so I can see it for your name. Crap. Why do I keep forgetting? Just see, why can't they just write it out instead of making me listen to it? Yer, that no L, a Y. Yer. That's what you just gotta remind me Y, not L. Guillermo. Guillermo. Oh crap. Treatment has been a game changer for me, truly. That's awesome. So I know I've asked you this before, and I'm not entirely sure if I remember the answer. So what's the plan to just kind of see how it goes? Do you guys have any like, okay, if you start having days that are like sevens and eights, that you try to reduce the medication you're on, or how does any of that work? Because I would imagine right now, if you're having like fives and sixes, that's not really enough to reduce your medication because a lot of people get medicated just for having fives and sixes, if that makes any sense. Sorry, I'm gurgly. Just what I do, Kimmy, and throw up after every meal. Hi, I don't do that. Oh, yeah, no, I have very unhealthy thoughts about food because I've lost a lot of weight and I don't ever want to get back to where I was. So, but I'm working on it. Guillermo. That looks like Guillermo. All right. I would do GI Guillermo, but thanks for that, Morrison. You might need to keep that pasted so you can put it back for me. I'm sorry, my mom keeps messaging me pictures. Oh, sorry. Okay, so she got a new little how there's Queen Sage. I love it. Um a bully, a staffy, and chihuahuas. Okay, cool. Or a chihuahua. I don't have any dogs because I live in a teeny tiny apartment and it's just me and I work 10-hour days. But I've got my 2 kitty cats. But I love dogs as long as, well, Lucy. I love the name Lucy because I Love Lucy. And Malachi? Is that Malachi? Like slow mo? Like he wrote it, yeah. Guillermo. No, Guillermo. I'm sorry. It's gonna take me a little bit. We're going to regroup after 6 treatments, potential to switch to sublingual after that. And how often is sublingual? Is that once or twice a week? Sublingual would be great. I know I'm interested. I wonder what the oral bioavailability of ketamine is. Hey, Jasmine, how are you? Where's Marky? Hey guys, I've got 10 minutes up my sleeve, so thought I'd join in and say hi. Oh, well, we're glad you're here. Thanks for stopping in, Jasmine. Yeah, glad you dropped in for 10 minutes. I'm putting a reminder in my phone. Where's I have to scroll back up 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. Does coffee make anybody else super gurgly? Like make your throat gurgly? For some reason, it never does it in the morning, but whenever I drink a cup of coffee this late, it makes me really gurgly. All right, Megan is driving. Said it perfectly. Oh, good. Thank you. Meg the ghosty. I forgot to ask my nurse practitioner about the frequency of sublingual. I'll ask her next time I see her. Okay, cool. I'm as white as one for sure. Yeah, I kind of am too, Megan. Gurgly. No, not like burpy, like gurgly, like in my throat, just like gurgly. I don't know. It just always does that to me when I drink it later in the day. I'm sure you guys can hear it. It's really loud. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call that quits on that coffee. I might need to put a sweater on because I'm a little chilly. It was hot in here earlier, so I put a short sleeve shirt on. You know what, guys? I think I need to grab a sweater. I'll be right back. All right, I couldn't find any of my black sweaters, but whatever. So, oh, I have such a bad memory too. Yeah, I have a I've had a bad memory all of my life. And I think part of it's just having a bad memory, and another part of it's like, mental health, just because I dissociate so much. So actually what I wanted to talk about real quick, and I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I was talking to Morrison about this because now with this new therapist, I'm supposed to document um every time that I split. And it got me thinking, like, I tell you guys all the time, like, oh, I split today, I split today. And I'm like, maybe I wonder if people don't know what I'm talking about when I say split. Because to me, like when I hear split, I think like multiple personalities or something like that. So I thought I would talk about like when I say splitting, what it is for me. So for those of you who don't know, I have borderline personality disorder. Um, and a lot of the time, my understanding is that people with BPD split on other people. I definitely do, but more often than not, when I split, it's just on the situation, whatever that may be. And again, more often than not, it's really stupid, like, small things, and they're honestly things that most people would probably be annoyed about or even be upset about, but it kinda goes to a different extreme in my head. So, for example, today, I in the last 24 hours, I've split 3 times, but in rating the intensity, they were both rated from I'm doing a scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I rated them both a 1, 2. They didn't last long. They were not very severe. I was able to keep them in so other people didn't necessarily know that I was splitting. Um, so the second split today was when I got home and I got the Amazon package and the dust jacket for the book was damaged. And then I called Amazon and was dealing with all that. Kind of got a little snippy with a guy on the phone. And then afterwards, I was going to wrap the presents and then I realized I don't have anywhere to store all these Christmas presents. I don't know what I did with them last year, but apparently I have more crap than I do or more crap than I did last year. So I'm like, I have nowhere to put any of these. Okay, so they're just minor annoyances that most people maybe would be annoyed by, but in my head all of a sudden that situation turns into everything in my life is bad. Everything in my life is worst case scenario, sucks, this, that, and the other thing. So what I did was decided I hated Christmas. You guys know I love Christmas. So I drafted a text message, a group text message to everyone in my family, which I did not send, but I drafted it and I said, I'm done with Christmas. I don't want to celebrate it ever again. If you've purchased anything for me, thank you, but please return it. And that is a split. When you take a situation or a person or whatever, and all of a sudden everything in your life is shit. Everything you can split, like splitting is idealizing or devaluing when you split on a person. But I, again, like that doesn't happen for me as much as splitting on a situation. And I don't even know if that was like a good explanation, but to me, that's what splitting is. And it can last anywhere from 5 minutes to a few hours, depending. It doesn't usually last longer than that for me. Now, I have split on people before. And again, like Morrison would say that I have like a more mild form of borderline personality disorder because most people don't know that I've split on them because I hold it all inside. So I could have somebody in my life who I like a lot. Usually they're people that I have very deep emotional connections with that I split on because if I don't, I just don't, I guess I don't feel the need to split. I'm not sure. But I can either idealize them and everything about them is perfect and wonderful. Or if something happens, whether it's something that I perceive that they've done to me, then all of a sudden they're horrible. They're the worst person in the world. I don't want anything to do with them. But again, like I'm able to recognize that the thoughts that I'm having are not healthy. And most of the time, nobody around me knows that I'm having them unless I tell them. Um, but I'm pretty good at keeping it inside so people don't know that I've split on them. People don't know that I'm like having a situation where I'm splitting. So again, splitting is black or white thinking. There's no gray thinking. It's all everything is all good or everything is all bad. That's what splitting is. It's not like changing personalities or anything like that. Like this is borderline personality disorder, not multiple personality disorder, or AKA um dissociative identity disorder, which I do not have. I do dissociate, but I do not have dissociative identity disorder. So anyway, I thought I would just explain that because I know I meant all the time. I'm like, oh, I split earlier or whatever the case may be. So I thought I would kind of very briefly explain what a split is. And Morrison actually sent me some really good articles on splitting today and sort of the physiology behind it. I didn't share any of them. Most of them weren't the full studies, so I need to find where I can actually access the full study rather than just like the outline of it. Um, but yeah, so that's what I'm talking about when I say that I'm splitting. I'm not able to see a gray area. Everything is all good or all bad, black or white. So every time before I say your name, I'm gonna need to think for a second for a little while. Hang on. I'll get it. Guillermo. Okay, so Guillermo, I hope that answered your question for you, what you mean by split. Be right back, Morrison says. Oh, good night, Jasmine. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a good night. Oh, you're welcome, Megan. I was thinking about it earlier and I was like, I always mention that term. And it's funny because like my mom and I were talking about it today. And like I told you guys, without diagnosing somebody when I'm not qualified to do so, like, whatever I have, my mom has worse. Um, and she splits all the time, much more severely than I do. And I always just, like I said, I've done this my whole life, but I just didn't know that there was a term for it. And I always just called it a hissy fit, like I have a hissy fit. And again, most people in my life do not know when I'm having a hissy fit. I just hold it all inside. My family knows because I'm comfortable enough around them to show them and not give a fuck. Like, but thankfully it's not hard to bring me out of a split at all. So I'm thankful for that. Tara, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what splitting was. Thank you for explaining that. Oh, you're welcome. Like I said, that's what it is for me. I'm sure, that might not have been the best definition, but when you look it up, general, it says black or white thinking, no gray area, things like that. But the thing is, like, thinking about it, I'm not sure if I've ever well, I'm sure I have, but I can't recall when the last time I split in the other direction where I've idealized a situation or someone. For me, it's usually on the other end of the spectrum. Um, I did, thank you. Okay, awesome. See ya, Jasmine. Big respect to Mama C. Yeah, yeah. I felt really bad because she was literally, I told you when I was baking earlier and having a little hissy fit, she was literally on a she was having her EMDR session, like through Zoom or whatever in the other room. And she left me to bake all these cookies by myself. And she knew it was going to be an issue because I don't bake. I'm not good at it. And also I have a fear. I'm afraid I'm going to get burnt. I've had issues with getting burnt in the past. And so I don't like taking things out of the oven unless I have the big, like, pot holders that you wear like gloves, and they don't have any of those. And so I started to get nervous, and I'm doing everything wrong. And I forgot what I said, but I was talking to myself because I was pissed. And I forgot what I said out loud. But all of a sudden my mom and her therapist like burst out laughing. And I was like, what are they and they were laughing at me, whatever I said. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, and I wasn't trying to be funny. Like, I was pissed, I was talking shit to myself because I couldn't get these cookies to come out right. There should be links for the full study. Oh, okay. I'll check. I didn't see it in the one. I do see it. The social cognition one, but yeah, I'll check later. So, but so anyway, before, like, an hour before I streamed, I was like, crap, like, I'm supposed to document this shit. I'm supposed to start journaling it. And I didn't want to do it because I'm lazy and, words don't come to me. But I did. I documented it. I picked out my little tabbies for the severity of my split. But it was just funny because I just told you guys and I just told the therapist that I split. How often did I say? Like, maybe a couple of times a week, and it's already been like 3 times in less than 24 hours. But I think for me, like, I it's much easier for me to split if I'm already in a shit mood about something. And I woke up this morning in a shit mood because I knew I wasn't going to be able to have a cup of coffee right away. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It just depends. It's still all new to me. The feelings aren't new to me, just the terms and the sort of explanations for them are new to me. So I still have a lot of learning to do. I need to get with it. Like, even though I'm not in DBT, there's things I can be doing. I haven't picked up any of my workbooks. I haven't done any of that, but I need to. So that's kind of just the abbreviated version, right? Like the synopsis or whatever. Yeah. But it was interesting, like, to hear them talk about, because I do dissociate, but I don't find that I dissociate when I'm splitting. And if I do, it's no more than I do any other time. So I really had to think when you asked me that, and I was like, I don't think so. I could be having the most relaxed, chill moment where in my head I'm not anxious about anything, I'm not nervous about anything, and I'm still dissociating. It just happens. It literally comes out of nowhere. There's no rhyme or reason as far as I know? That's good you documented it. Yeah, I'm trying to, I don't know. It's the least I can do, I guess. I'm not really sure how it'll help or what it will help, but I guess it wouldn't be bad to know kind of like on average how often it happens, and then maybe I can kind of find like maybe some sort of pattern in it. I'm not sure. What I'm really looking for, Morrison, now is to kind of, because you had told me, and not to get like TMI, but you had told me that your ex had her BPD symptoms were much more severe around her cycle. And so that's what I'm looking to see if I noticed that, because I never really paid it. I was like, no, but I never really paid attention before. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. And I should go ahead and document in that book, like when, like what splits take place during, that time of the month. So, Kimmy, I can email you a behavior tracking sheet I got last year. It helps a lot to give the doctor, or make something fun on Excel or Word. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I do a lot of stuff with like Google Docs and Google Sheets. But this therapist that I'm seeing, because I mentioned, wanting to get back into like journaling, or want to get back into that stuff and crafts and stuff. So she's like, do it by hand, get fun pens, get little colored tabbies. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm only seeing her right now twice a month. We might go to once a month until I find out from the DBT program how often I'm supposed to see her. I would assume once a week once that starts, but I don't know. It's just like every other type of talk therapy where they're like, "What would you like to talk about today?" And I'm like, "Seriously, I don't know." So, but this will give us something to talk about. I can say, "Okay, well, since our last session, I've split this many times." So, oh, it helps you? Awesome, Megan. Yeah, her splits and dissociation were debilitating when she had her period. Oh, okay, wow. I don't, yeah, the thing that's weird for me, and I've read it and I'm not sure like where, like there's no evidentiary support. It's just all like anecdotal testimonies where people have talked about how for some people with BPD, a lot of their symptoms just with age alone decrease. And I have found that to be true as well. Like, especially like the external anger. Again, like I still get angry. I just, people don't know it because I keep it in, you know? I don't know, Megan. I'm not in it. DBT programs are very few and far between. So I'm on a waiting list. And as of like last month, they said it was approximately a 6-month waiting list. So we shall see. The therapist that I just started seeing, she's just a normal talk therapist. She's a social worker. Mm. So we'll see. Um, Tomorrow starts my work week back. We're getting closer to Christmas, and I'm getting nervous because I still don't know what people want for Christmas. And there's not a whole lot of time left. And things are already getting to the point where like you need to order them now or they're not going to be shipped before Christmas. So I'm starting to panic a little bit. Wow, oh my God, is it paid by insurance? I would assume so. Typically it's just like whatever my copay is, but I don't know. They won't give me the specifics on the program until I'm actually in the program. So I'm not even sure how many times a week it is. I think they said it's once or twice depending, but I don't know depending on what. I don't know. Um, so it's probably my copay however often I go. But this is the only program I found that it's the only program I found um that I could get in touch with anyone from. So I know some of them don't accept insurance at all. And I guess the reason that they're so rare is because, first of all, there's not a lot of practitioners who are certified in DBT. And secondly, DBT, you can learn DBT skills with an individual therapy program, but typically it's done in a group therapy session. I guess that's part of the modality of DBT is doing it in a group. And the thing is, and it's a 6-month to a year program, I believe. And part of the DBT program, and one of the reasons why most practitioners don't offer it is because they have to provide you with a mental health provider 24/7. Like you have to have You have to be able there you have to have I can't even freaking talk. There has to be somebody part of your DBT program that you're able to reach 24/7, and you're supposed to always reach out if you're splitting or in any kind of crisis or anything like that, so that they can actually work on the skills with you while you're having the emotion. So, it makes sense. People just learn to cope. However, I truly believe it can be beat. Most people don't believe that. Well, most things I've read say 100% with DBT. Not that it can be beat, but like diabetes or whatever else, like, your symptoms can kind of go into a state of remission where if you were to go and be evaluated, you would still have some of the symptoms, but you wouldn't meet enough of the criteria or the severity of the criteria to be diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. So, um, it's progress that you have a plan for what to talk about with your therapist. Yeah, I just get annoyed. Like, I think my expectations are too high. I expect them to be able to help me more than just sitting there and me paying them to like I mean, I can talk to you guys. Like, I don't need to pay somebody to listen to me talk. Like, if I'm paying you, I expect you to give me something in return. You know what I mean? And maybe that's the wrong idea, but that's just how I am. Like, I'm paying you, you tell me what we're supposed to be talking about. You tell me what I need to work on, you know? But anyway, I haven't had any Christmas cookies yet today. That will come later, I think. But it's kind of ridiculous how many cookies I brought home with me. And I'm like, why did I didn't make my tin anyway, but I'm like, why did I bring so many home with me? Because I'm gonna eat them. And I really don't trust myself having them here. I can be put in remission. I believe it will be non-existent. Oh, well, thank you. I don't believe that, but I would like for that to be the case. But you know what? I think that's a really positive thought to have, and maybe that's part of my problem too, is that I don't have these, like, negative things, so I think telehealth would help many in DBT. Well, right, but it's just not I mean, I looked for online DBT programs too, couldn't find any. Um, well, I couldn't find any that you didn't have to pay, like, ridiculous amounts of money for. I'm not yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm anxious to get started, like, I hope the waiting list goes kinda fast. Actually, that the guy who's in charge of it never even called me back. I think I called him on Tuesday to find out how often I needed to do therapy. Oh, there's somebody else that got put on Lamictal for BPD. Oh, no. And reprogramming your mind. Yeah, that's not a bad thing. I am a very, like, glass half empty type of person. Like, I am very pessimistic naturally. I've always been like that. I don't like that about myself. Um, so face green smiling. That's what it says for me. I don't see an emoji. So who's still in here? What would you like to talk about tonight? Anything specific? I'm really surprised not to see Marky. The one thing, and I know I talk about this all the time, but I feel like I didn't get any rest on my days off this week because I had shit to do every single day. Like, I didn't have one day where I could just sleep in and not set an alarm clock. Ugh. All right. I did get my glasses out, but I haven't put them on yet. I feel like you're here, Tara. Oh, you're driving, Morrison? Or Marky is? I was gonna say, you're not really ghosting. I mean, you've been chit-chatting this whole time. Oh, you know what? Every single time I live stream in my head, I'm remember to go look for a comfy chair to live stream in, and then as soon as I stop, I forget and I never do it. I've been so bad about getting all my water in the last couple of days. I just parked walking home now. Okay. Oh, so you park away from where you live? Marky, you're having one of those nights. What's wrong? What's going on with you? I had one of those days, but I'm having a better night, which is good. Oh, you're driving now, Morrison. Okay. Guillermo. Didn't take me long that time. I've been listening and just enjoying the stream. Okay. Is there anything that you want to talk about, Guillermo? Sometimes this happens where like I say what I have to say and then I kind of have to like rely on you guys to come up with topics of conversation. Yeah, I usually walk about half a mile to my car. Oh, really? Do you choose to do that or you just like there's no parking where you live? I get irritated as shit when I gotta park on the other side of the complex. It makes me so mad, especially in the winter and the snow. Sometimes more if you're feeling feisty. My AC doesn't work in my car and I just stopped at AutoZone and it only had 5 PSI of refrigerant. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming that's not enough. And I'm sorry because when it's hot out and there's no air conditioner, I am a nasty bitch. But is it that hot where you're at, Marky? I mean, Florida, obviously, but is it hot where you're at? Guillermo, I watched your withdrawal videos. How long did it take you till you felt normal? Well, that's the problem, Guillermo. I don't feel normal. But you have to remember, and this is why I said, like, I feel like a hypocrite talking about addiction now and Suboxone withdrawal because I can't tell you, I pain pills were a band-aid for me. They hit a lot of my mental health issues that I'd had for years, and that's why I became addicted to them because they suppressed my emotional issues. So the issues, the lack of motivation, the anhedonia, things like that, I still struggle with those, but I can tell you it doesn't have anything to do with Suboxone. So now it's hard for me to look back at my Suboxone journey and be like, talk about the symptoms because I don't know what was from Suboxone and what was from having borderline personality disorder. I can tell you that the first year was rough for me. As far as like I would still function, I would go to work, I would work every day, and then I would come home and I would sleep. I would lay on the couch and sleep. It was a lack of energy, it was depression. Um, and now mind you, I did get on an SSRI antidepressant when I was doing my Suboxone taper to help. I kind of like onboarded it to help with the anxiety and depression that I knew was coming. I don't know if it did help. It did help my anxiety. I ended up getting off of that because I gained 50 pounds. But I would say I had a good period of about a year where I had extremely low levels of energy and motivation. It was the point where sometimes I would have to have like my mom or somebody come over and help me clean my apartment because I just didn't have the energy to do it. Um, but it's not like any of these things I was still able to live and I was still able to function. But they were noticeable for about a year, between 10 and 12 months, I would say. But again, like, it wasn't anything horrible. It was just there. Both LOL, limited parking, plus I like to get the steps in. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's nowhere else for me to park here that I wouldn't get towed. Like, if I would park down in, like, the village or something, my car would get towed. So, yeah, you need AC all year. Okay. Hmm. Why don't you go to Walmart? Don't they have coolant? Update, I started a new med yesterday. Did you? Interesting. You want to talk about that? I didn't know. I wonder how that relates to like your ketamine treatment. If you'll know if you have any like beneficial changes, how are you going to know if it's the ketamine or the medication? Unless it doesn't have anything. Sorry. Sorry. It's an old bill collector calling me. I got to fix my screen. There we go. You're not a hypocrite. You're sharing your journey. Yeah, no, hypocrite was probably the wrong word, and I have to sneeze. I guess the thing is, like, I had talked, I had said I had all these issues, the lack of motivation, the depression, no energy, blah, blah, blah. And I did have those things. But now looking back, I don't know how much of that was from post-acute withdrawal or from mental health. All I can tell you is what I felt like in that the lack of energy, motivation, depression, the first year off of Suboxone was much worse than it is now. So that's all I can say. Mm. Where are you driving to, Morrison? Anywhere good? I should show you guys the fucking massive amounts of cookies that I brought home with me. So, I have a busy weekend this weekend with work stuff. I have to remember to bring my work laptop with me tomorrow because I don't bring that with me all the time. Yeah, so I was actually gonna wrap presents on live stream tonight. Then I was like, wait, I forgot why I decided not to, probably because I was splitting. But I don't know, just because I have to keep them stored in my closet. I was like, let's just keep them. I don't know. I'm kind of tempted now to start wrapping them so that I don't have like I don't get overwhelmed when I have a ton of them to wrap. The new med actually works similarly to ketamine, promotes neurogenesis. I'm excited to have a good feeling about it. Okay. But is that going to affect knowing whether the ketamine is helping you, especially when it's very similar? Are you going to be able to know the difference? You know what I mean? As to which is which. Picking up food. Okay. Anything good, Morrison? Norfolk Southern something something yeet. Doesn't yeet mean something? Not good. Um, it's called, oh, that sounds familiar. Let me just Google it really quick. It does sound familiar to me. Let me look it up here. I wonder what the trade name is. Right, but there's a chance too that the ketamine could continue to make you feel better, right? My only question is if you start to feel substantially better, how are you going to know if it's the ketamine or if it's the medication? Oh, that's Wellbutrin with dextromorphan, right? Hang on, let me look it up. Um skeet skeet. Crap, to dad LOLC. Wait, what? I'm so confused. All right, let's see. Where'd it go? Yeah, I want to know. Hmm. All right, so it's bupropion, I can never say it, propion, which is Wellbutrin, and dextromethorphan, which I'm not overly familiar with. So that's what I want to look up is the dextromethorphan. So yeah, have you ever taken just straight Wellbutrin before? Tara? Hey, Rob. What's up, dude? Scrimp? Well, you guys are giving me all these weird words. From the window to the walls, till the sweat dropped down my balls. Oh, that's the stuff that's in cough syrup. I'm so confused. Why would that be in an antidepressant? Dextromethorphan will relieve a cough, blah, 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 blah. It's an antitussive. It works by decreasing activity in the part of the brain that causes coughing. I wonder if they found a link to that part of the brain with depression. Interesting. I'll have to read more about that. I'm curious to learn more. Okay, well, the only reason I asked was because I mean, I guess it's Wellbutrin's technically considered like an atypical antidepressant. Um, my sister's on Wellbutrin. She's been on it for about 2 weeks and still Wellbutrin was not good for me, but I don't really know why it would be prescribed for anxiety because it's very, very activating. But I've heard really good things about it being used for depression. But me, I was so it almost I'm not bipolar, but it almost made me feel manic. I was had such a like high level of like nervous energy. Um, so anyway, what's up, Rob? I still don't know what you were saying, Guillermo. Crap to dad, LOLC. I'm enjoying the activation. LOL, not sure if it's placebo or not. Yeah, how long have you been on it? Let's see. I'm trying to scroll back up. Oh, you started it yesterday. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's placebo, enjoy placebo effect, but you never know. I mean, some people, and you seem to be that way just from what you said in the past, that you're really sensitive to medication. So I don't think it's outside the scope of possibility that you do feel the activation. And I told my sister, I was like, you might like that's the thing with these medications is like they take a really long they take a long time to work the way they're supposed to, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to have icky side effects in the meantime. And the thing, like, she might experience what I experienced with Wellbutrin, but that doesn't, it might go away. Once her body and her brain are used to the medication, those bad side effects are probably going to go away. Um, but I personally couldn't handle it at all. This was like, I don't know, I'm trying to think how many years ago. Pretty sure I was on Suboxone when I tried the Wellbutrin. I'm not sure. I don't even think I made it a week, and I was like, "Nope, not for me." My drug of choice tonight is a peppermint frosty, LOL, but Def got my 2024 frosty tags tonight. My grandma used to love getting a frosty and a small french fry and dip it into it. She loved frosties. I haven't had one in years. Yeah, you're really sensitive to meds, so that makes sense. And some people, do enjoy that feeling. As somebody who, I don't because I find that it just stimulates my anxiety. But I do know many people who love Wellbutrin for their depression. So it'll be interesting to see. But in a good way, Tara. My nurse practitioner said we know if it works within 2 weeks. Oh, um, it's been a couple years, Tara, so I can't tell you exactly. I would say within the first week. But see, like my sister, her practitioner told her it could be up to 3 months, which is what I've always been told. Wellbutrin, I don't think takes quite as long as, like, your typical SSRI, for example, to but I mean, yeah, you should see improvement, but for it to come to full concentration in your blood, I don't know. Yeah, it's been a couple years, and you even I mean, my memory, I can't even remember stuff from yesterday, so But I would say within the first week, but again, like, my sister's been on it for 2 weeks, and, you know, I'm pretty sure within a couple of days, she felt like crap, and she still feels like crap, but she's sticking it out. She wants to see if and that's good because, like I said, there's a good chance that those side effects will go away for her, you know? Yeah, maybe. I'm interested to know and how that ingredient that's in cough syrup is supposed to treat, depression, but maybe who knows? Let's see if this, um okay, so it was studied in a 6-week trial. So here we go, Tara. It's the first and only rapid-acting oral antidepressant, so that must be it. Somehow I wonder if maybe that's the cough syrup ingredient in it somehow activates, like, a rapid act? I'm not sure. People taking Auvelity saw greater symptom improvement at 6 weeks compared to those taking placebo. On average, people taking Auvelity had a rapid improvement in their depressive symptom scores versus placebo at 1 week, helped achieve remission at 2 weeks. Let's see. I was hoping they would have a section talking about why that ingredient, like what that ingredient does specifically to the brain to reduce depression. Tara, have you ever been on an MAOI inhibitor? Let's see. Serotonin syndrome. They always have to warn against that, even though I mean, it's possible, but it's so rare, so rare. All right, I really am trying to just find out why. Hey, CH, how are ya? Sorry, I'm looking something up about Tara's medication. All right, so what was it? Dextromethorphan and depression. Let's see what they say. Dextromethorphan has only recently been approved for the treatment of depression. Initial research suggests that it can be a safe and effective treatment for people living with depression. However, combining dextromethorphan with other drugs seems to be even more effective. I'm interested to know how though, like what neurotransmitters it's reuptakes or how what it does to specifically to the brain in order to achieve that. Um, let's see. Okay, one of the reasons that dextromethorphan may be effective for depression is because it affects the pathways related to glutamate, a neurotransmitter that may play a role in the development of depression. When paired with Wellbutrin, this specific medication combination shows promise for helping relieve depression. Oh, well, it's really interesting. I mean, I love reading about stuff like that, like how they find, a medication that's used to suppress coughs, but you know what? Like, that's how I think most of my original opioid prescriptions were in forms of cough syrup. So and opioids, like, used to be used all the time to suppress coughs. MAOI inhibitor, not that I'm aware of. Okay. Are you asking how the Truvelidy, causes neurogenesis or how an MAOI inhibitor causes it? Um I've never taken an MAOI inhibitor either, and I don't think they're not used first line at all anymore because of how high their side effect profile is and how I don't know, how risky their use is, but they're used when SSRIs and SNRIs have not been effective. I didn't see anything about that medication in neurogenesis, but, um hey, KG, how are ya? Let's see, ability and neurogenesis. Purple drank, yeah. Well, so that was the hike or no, that was I think we called it Yeah, the Sizzurp or something, that was the codeine cough syrup. I liked the hydrocodone cough syrup because I hate codeine. I took it if I had no other choice, but yeah, I don't see anything about neurogenesis and ability, but, I have no idea. Like, it's gonna depend on what like, I'm obviously, I know what neurogenesis is, but I don't understand how the dextromethorphan what specifically it works on in the brain other than I just read that, the one specific neurotransmitter, so I have no idea how it would affect neurogenesis. Um, I think that, in my opinion, neurogenesis is gonna be achieved more commonly via natural things like external factors or things like that, and I think that there are many supplements that can aid with neurogenesis. I think medications that aid in neurogenesis only do so while you're on them. I don't think they actually regenerate to the point of being like that forever. I think once you're off the medications, they don't fix anything. They're just helping it while you're on them, in my opinion. But maybe this is like some new breaking, medication. I'm not sure. That'll be a long time. So yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to hear how it goes for sure. I just, like, personally was surprised to know that, like, you're going to be trying to, get results on 2 different substances. I feel like it's gonna be challenging to know which is helping more, you know? Right, that's kind of what I think too, Morrison, like, and I think it's been studied more in natural, different supplement like amino acid, things like that, things that can really help build up those neurotransmitters in your brain. Um, and again, I do think that it's possible to achieve a certain level of neurogenesis from medication. I just don't think it's healing it. I think it's just while you're on it, it's keeping you, it's doing those things. But I don't know. That's just my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I need all the help. Oh, absolutely. I'm not begrudging you the help at all. I'm curious about it because I would think that they, in order to keep prescribing you ketamine, they have to report, like, there needs to be somebody is getting reported to say it's working. Like, here are her scores, her depression levels, if you will. But when there's other factors involved, like, isn't that one of the reasons why the other psychiatrist didn't want you on any medication so that they knew exactly how the ketamine was helping? That's the only thing that I'm confused about, but, obviously, like, whatever you and your nurse practitioner decide is best for you is what's best for you. I'm just wondering personally, like, how that works. Yeah, right, Morrison, yeah, me either. Marky, Tara, may I make a suggestion? Hey, Drew, how are ya? Kim, you're damn near as smart as any doc I've ever met. Oh, God, thank you for that compliment, but I don't know. I actually got into an argument with a doctor on, TikTok a couple weeks ago, and it was about medication, actually, but I wasn't surprised. Jinx, yeah. Marco, I think the extra help is giving me the ability to do the things, required. Yeah, absolutely, and like I said, I think that's great that are saying you need extra help and you're getting extra help. My only concern is how are they gonna know which is helping you? Are they just gonna you know, how are they gonna know? Are you gonna stay on both of them, or, like, I just thought that there was some sort of reporting body with ketamine specifically where somebody needed to be reported to, so that they can know if it's working, especially because, they don't wanna pay for it if it's not working, but, um and I just forgot what I was gonna say, but was that the, the idea behind what the original psychiatrist why he didn't want you on any medication was so he could see exactly how the ketamine was helping and how much it was helping. That's what I'm curious about. Yeah, we're all rooting for you, Tara, of course. And that's the thing, like, yeah, I'm opinionated. I'm gonna support anything you do. But you did ask me for my opinion, so I gave it to you. We're waiting on bated breath for Marky's suggestion. I might usually get a soda and a Christmas cookie and a memento. Yeah, please don't ever take my questions as like me not rooting for you or being um I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but of course I'm always rooting for you. But I always have questions and I do about myself and that like I'm not doubting you, I'm not doubting your nurse practitioner. They're just questions. Have y'all seen the documentary on Lamar Odom? No, I haven't seen anything on him. I didn't even know who he was until he started coming on the Kardashians. What's it about? I mean, obviously Lamar Odom, but specifically. We all need a Kimmy in our lives to ask the hard questions. Well, I appreciate that. Sometimes I'm like, why can't you just keep your mouth shut? It's not your life. It's not your choice. But uh, I have an opinion on most things, not everything. Some things I'm just like, but that whole situation is trippy, KG. What situation are y'all talking about, by the way? And I still didn't see your suggestion, Marky. Hey Eric, how are ya? What's going on? It's good, and he has helped. Oh, he's helped open ketamine clinics. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm all for ketamine, just like I'm for plant medicine for certain people. I think it's going to make a lot of people worse, but I also think it's going to make a lot of people better. Absolutely support it 100%. My question is just there seems to not be a like a central list of like standards, if you will, as to what, that every prescriber should be following, and again, everybody's different. So I don't necessarily even think there should be a standard list of qualifications, but um my nurse practitioner flipped when she heard the other PA wanted to take me off my Vraylar. An antidepressant is required, but required for everybody or according to your nurse practitioner. Hey Drew and Eric. Yeah, what's your question, Marky? I fucking hate the pharmaceutical industry so badly. I wish there was another way for people. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, a lot of it I feel like is generational too, because I don't know. The pharmaceutical industry is so ingrained in everything we do. You can't even watch a TV show without a pharmaceutical commercial. And I feel like we've been sort of deconditioned as a society to, and I really don't want to make these generalizations because I don't want to make like everybody's different, but like, oh, you stubbed your toe. There's you got to take pain medication for this, or you've got a headache. We've got to put you on like, tryptophan or not tryptophans. You know what I'm talking about? The migraine medication, whatever. But it's just everything requires a medication, and I get it. Like it's not as black and white in that. And there are some people that have very severe medical conditions that do need medication and mental health conditions, things like that. But I just think as a whole, it's like, oh, you got a paper cut, here's some medication. You did? I didn't see it. Did you delete it? Did anybody else see it? I don't see it at all. I see Tara may make a suggestion, and then your next comment is the situation is trippy, KG. I would much rather somebody who is opinionated than somebody who sugarcoats. That's true. That's true. I still do sugarcoat, just so y'all know. I do. Just ask Rob. I'm pretty sure Rob used that exact term. I'm like, "Am I the exact same on live stream as I am in real life?" And he's like, "Mostly, mostly." He goes, "But you do still." I don't know if sugarcoat is the term he used, but I just made some chicken cheese onion wrap fried chicken cheese onion wrap fried rolls, and they're so good. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Required according to the standard of care. Okay. All right. I was wondering that. Um, let's see. It's them, whoever them are. Yeah, right. I did a deer roast. Oh, venison? I don't like venison. I don't know why. I just don't like it. My kids are going to Kentucky, Kennedy Space Center for a field trip. Oh, I'm jealous. I know you're punch and error, but I am so jealous. I would love to go to Kennedy Space Center. Um, JC, I assume he means KG. Dude, my phone, when I got my new iPhone, KG auto corrected your name to Jay-Z, but I caught it. I almost submitted it just because I thought it was funny, but I corrected it. I didn't see it. I see it. Yeah, I don't see it either. I don't see what you asked Tara. Why don't you just copy it and type it again? Because I don't see it anywhere. LOL, Eric, my daughter did. I gotta tell you guys the funniest story. So I had this friend once, still my friend, we just don't see each other very much. Actually, she's in recovery from alcohol herself. She got a DWI a couple of years back, and so she stopped. I think it kind of took that for her to realize she had a problem. But we, like, primarily hung out at the bar, right? And I loved her because she was very innocent, like, kinda reminded me a little bit of you, Tara, like, very sort of innocent and, and I don't really know if you are, but I just loved her, like, we had so much fun together, and this one day or one night at the bar, we're out smoking a cigarette, and there were these girls there that we didn't know before, and we're just, making conversation with them. And, I forget how they got talking about, like, hunting and venison, or they were talking about venison or I don't know what it was, but all of a sudden, my friend goes to the girls, "Oh, so do you like to hunt then?" And the girl goes, "No, but I'll eat your venison if you have any." And my friend goes, "Oh, so you're a lesbian." And she wasn't trying to be funny, like, she literally in her head, like, she thought that's what this girl meant, and I almost peed my pants laughing. I don't know if that's funny to you guys, but I thought that was hysterical. Um, I said, "Chuck the pills and light a spliff," or I said, "Oh, chuck the pills and light a spliff. At least it's nature." It's not normal how they push meds in Jamaica. They rarely even take Tylenol. Yeah, that's just it. Like, don't put again, like you guys know, I do think medication is needed in situations, but they shouldn't be pushed to the level that they are. It's all about money and it's all about getting people hooked on things and getting the people dependent on things. Like it's just ridiculous. KG, she a tough girl. She shot at with one shot. Yes, Eric, she's the only one I know that can say I'm going hunting and come back in an hour with a deer on the four-wheeler. Yeah, that's cool. She's trying to not use cannabis, Marky. Sniper skills, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, it's hard. I think in somebody that I would say that too to somebody who maybe didn't have that cannabis didn't take over their life because people do use cannabis and they get benefits out of it, you know? But some people are unable to do that. Just like some people take opioids for chronic conditions and they're able to do that. Um, yeah, I thought it was funny. I laughed so hard that night. She didn't even understand why I was laughing. She's like, "What are you laughing at?" I was like, "How did you?" She asked you for your venison meat, not. I want to smoke a spliff. Marky Rizzo, my nurse practitioner, says maybe someday, but just not yet. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so you have a great relationship with your nurse practitioner, like, you trust her implicitly, like, implicitly. That's kind of what I'm taking from what you're saying, which I think it's like, I love my nurse practitioner too. I challenge him all the time, but I love him. If you could just stop taking them and there were no repercussions, fine, but those pills fuck you up. Yeah, I mean, those are, those are the some of the types of medications that do cause dependence within your brain and your body, you know? But, I'm so proud of you, Tara. I'm totally following her lead. I trust her so much. I'm trusting her with my life. Yeah. And I love that. I love that you trust her. And I'm not saying anything bad against her or anybody, but I always feel like you have to advocate for yourself. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just my life experiences to say I'm never going to put 100% trust in anybody. I'm always going to do the research myself, always. Um, you know, because that's just it. Like, humans are flawed, we make mistakes. So, I don't know. I just think I don't know. If it were like, I would always do my own research about any medication. There are certain things I will not research just because, like, it's gonna be, like, incite my paranoia if I know, but, depends on the cannabis. It helps with emotional problems and how to figure it out, in my opinion. It can help with emotional problems, but it can also make them worse. Like, I actually used cannabis regularly, well, like, once a week for quite a long time, and I stopped because, it actually I believe it could potentially make my paranoia worse and my anxiety. I mean, anxiety, it's pretty commonplace for cannabis with many people for it to make their anxiety a lot worse. Um, Not everybody, but some people, and it also is a little bit strain dependent, but she says that Tara, as she prescribes you poison. Next live stream, read the side effects of those medications to us. I'm curious to hear them if you feel comfortable. Some people are in recovery for cannabis, though, so we must not generalize and just support. I tried to fix the depression myself and it almost cost me my life. It was time to try something else. And I get that. Like, I 100% get that. That's kind of like, well, I wasn't to that point, to the point of harming myself, but I was to the point several weeks ago where I was like, if I don't do something now, it might get to that point, which is, obviously when I made the decision to try Lamictal, but then I was like, that might have been an impulsive decision. I actually don't want to do that like a week later, but that's me. I changed my mind a lot. Um, but I do understand what you're saying, Tara, and I do think it's great that you know, you're saving your life, What I'm saying is not from a lack of compassion. I get it. I just have to speak. And I understand that too, Marky. I do. And I don't and I hope everybody else does too. Have to speak your truth. I don't want to focus on what could go wrong, Marky. I have decided to see how the treatment works for me. I think it's amazing that you've reached out for the help and you have your nurse practitioner in your corner. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you trust her. I really do. And I'm not trying to tell you not to trust her. Because like I've said, there are some who still are in this field for the right reasons because they truly want to help people. They're absolutely. And I'm sure that's how yours is. I mean, just with how you've described her, I'm sure that's how she is. All I'm saying is for me, like, I also need to I have to do the research myself because I'm maybe it's just because I'm not an overly trusting person and, I've seen mistakes happen so much that I just want to know for myself what I'm getting into and what to expect. But I'm not saying that you need to do that. I'm just saying that's what I would do. When I get depressed, I get quiet. Yeah, for me, it kind of depends, honestly. I absolutely respect your perspective, Marky. I love you, man. Yeah, Tara, and I'm glad that you feel like open and comfortable to tell us these things. Um, Even though you know that maybe, not that I hope like nobody's judging you. Everybody wants the best for you. But this is a pretty open group of people and I like that. I personally like that. I like being challenged myself and I like, you know, when I started taking the Lamictal and, and I knew Marky was gonna be the one who was gonna be like, and I knew it was coming, but I also, like, it comes from a place of caring, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't in my opinion, it doesn't come from a place of judgment, it comes from a place of concern. Must stay positive. My daughter suffered from depression her senior year to the point she didn't go to school the whole year. She graduated but had a hard time. Yeah, that's just it. And the thing is, like, there are certain things that people you just don't know unless you've been there. And I've struggled with depression, but not to that extreme, really. And my depression has always been mixed with other things, anxiety and OCD and things like that. But everybody's journey is different, and some people struggle a lot more than other people do. You just don't know until unless you're in that person's shoes. I'm glad you shared, Marky. We love you, bro. Yep, absolutely. And I love that. I mean, I love when people state differences of opinions. I love it. I can't help but to wonder if my taking Zoloft since I was pregnant caused it. Caused your daughter to have depression? I would be more inclined to think that the fact that I mean, we know that a lot of mental illnesses, such as depression and anxiety, are hereditary. I'd be more inclined to think that it was hereditary than you taking an antidepressant caused it. KG, I wonder a lot. That's a very touchy subject for me. You can say anything you want about it. I'm just saying it's touchy because I work with that population. And one time, many years ago, I was in public with one of the individuals that I supported at the time. And it was very obvious to everyone that the person that I was with had some sort of developmental disability. And this one lady came up to us and she thought she was being very kind and very friendly. And she was like, "Oh, autism." And she was like, "From vaccines, huh?" And look, I'm not, I don't know. Maybe, but that just rubbed me the wrong way. However, Marky, I don't disagree with you. I do not disagree with you, is all I'm gonna say. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, you didn't even say vaccines, but I'm saying possibly. Um, right, Marky. My son has ticks. He was fine until after he burned his arm when he was 2. Really? When he burned his arm? Hmm. Um, I like skeptics, especially with medical stuff. I'm like you, Kimmy, too many times we've seen people fall through the cracks. Yeah, and that's just like, yeah, exactly. I mean, you have to be your best advocate. You have to be. Nobody else is going to do it for you. It has to be you because it's your life, you know? Yeah, I don't know why, like, I don't know why it's a touchy subject for me because I do think it's a possibility, but I think it's just because I don't know. I'm very, very protective over that population of people, very, very protective over them. Um, they're just so special. They're just so special, and I love them, and not just autism, but Down syndrome, and I just love them, and I get very, like, defensive over them, but again, like, not I'm not saying, like, against what Marky said because I do think that there's probably things that may potentiate those. Trauma response. Good grief, people are such assholes sometimes. Something's up. There's smoking guns everywhere. They're never gonna say, well, exactly, exactly. They're just gonna pay out the big bucks and make people sign like a non-disclosure. um, do you think it was a trauma response, Marky? Oh wow, that's what I had to do. Slow-mo, my wife, maybe awesome burgers. I had little mini sliders last night. She makes awesome burgers. Yeah, I kinda figured that's what you were saying. Yeah, they put him out and gave him something that was gonna wipe his memory. That would have probably been Versed, possibly propofol, but likely Versed, especially if it was gonna be, quick, if it was a quick procedure. Um, Afterward, we heard from other nurses and docs that they shouldn't have done that. Yeah, so, like, when you like, especially when they, like, reduce fractures or things like that, or you have a colonoscopy or a really simple procedure, they usually give you Versed or propofol or both, sometimes fentanyl, but it's really Versed that keeps your brain from creating new memories. So you think that you were, like, unconscious, during the procedure, but actually your brain just didn't form new memories, and you can like, you're out of it, but you can still be stimulated and respond to somebody, but you won't remember it. Drew, I had a mushroom Swiss, and my gosh, it was absolute fire. Ugh, I don't really like mushrooms or Swiss cheese, but it does sound kinda good. It wasn't even that bad of a burn. When I was a kid, I fell back onto a grill, and I had to wear a cast on my arm from that burn for a long it felt like a long, long time, but I don't actually know how long it was. Holy crap, do you know what it was? Could have been the Vaxes, I just can't say. After that, I noticed his tics, and so did my wife. I wonder if they gave him ketamine. I'm not great at speaking on my health experiences, but will someday. I'm trying ketamine infusions right now too at Tara for chronic pain. All right, CH. Well, we'll be interested to hear how it works for you. I know Mikey uses ketamine for chronic pain too. Um, I'm afraid to get rabies. I stay away from raccoons, nice wild dogs. I see this guy in the hospital. He was shaking, scared to drink water, on the verge of dying, scared me. Well, luckily there's a shot for that too. Hurts like a bitch, but ketamine does that too. Ketamine actually stops your brain from creating memories like Versed does. Yeah, they use it for children. Yeah, I know that. I just didn't realize that it had that same amnesiac whatever effect. Mm. CH ketamine crew, what are your thoughts on the infusion so far? Hmm. Yeah, my sister had issues for years after she got the Gardasil vaccine that her nurse practitioner convinced her she needed, the HPV vaccine, and again, I'm not anti-vax, but I'm kind of HPV anti-vax. Um, yeah, she had issues for years after that vaccine that started right after the vaccine. Yes, in children, okay. See, I don't know. Back when I worked in healthcare, like, ketamine was just not reached for very often at all. It was like, I knew it was a lot in the UK, and I know it was used a lot in, like, the ambulance service, but, it's taken me several to get a good response. I'm a tiny person, and it took a while for them to give me a big enough dose. I'm 90 pounds. I have a really strong tolerance metabolism. Okay. Um, that's actually one of the reasons we give it to kids in the ambulance with intense traumatic injuries. Okay, cool. Good to know. I wish I could have it documented somewhere. Don't ever give me ketamine. I don't ever, ever give it to me. HPV vax is complete BS. Yeah. Yep. It's just another one that it's just about the money. It's just about the money. And I honestly don't probably over half the women in America have HPV. I mean, granted, there are different types of HPV and some are more prone to causing cancer than others, but I'll tell you this, not to, cancer sucks, I'm sure. And thank God, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to get cancer, cervical cancer is probably the best kind to get. Ketamine is being used left and right now, Kimmy, in the last 5 years. Okay, interesting. I don't Yeah, I just don't have a lot of experience, like, in outside of the realm that I'm in now in that time period, so it's interesting, it's good to know. Um, I agree, I don't wanna see The Matrix. Yeah, it was horrible, I hated it so much, hated it. It's so interesting how different we all are. I love ketamine. I mean, maybe if I liked, like, well, obviously, I was only given it for, like, a procedure, but, like, maybe if I like the after effects, but, like, I don't wanna I don't know. And that's what it's about too, like, especially, like, obviously, when you're given it in, like, an emergency setting to make you forget or to heal your pain, but, like, you guys, it's for long term rather than, like, getting, like, a I don't want I know high is not the right word, but having, like, a trip, that's not necessarily the point, right? The point is for the long term. I didn't know that. My wife has said she wants the girls to get that vax when they get older. Well, to each their own, to each their own. I mean, obviously, you make the decision that you think is best for your family. I just personally, like, I don't have kids, but if I did, they would not be getting the HPV vaccine. Hey, Jill, how are you? Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for saying that. That's very kind of you. Drew, please be careful. It's the freaking worst. Research it. Yeah. Sub Jill. I'm headed to sleep land, peeps. Wow, Rob. All right. Well, have a good night. And I'll talk to you probably tomorrow. Well, it's got a bunch of different uses, Drew. I guess like in the acute setting, it's mostly for pain and things like that. But they use it a lot for like major depression now. I personally would think it would be horrible for anxiety, but that's just me. I took all my kids, 2 boys and 2 girls for that HPV. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, to each their own. Hey Morrison, much love, Rob. Don't go off to ancient Egypt on us, sweet dreams. Huh? I've never tried it, but it can help with things. If I it can help with things, and I'm all for it. But it's a medication, Marky. So are you all for it? Even though it does have those effects, it is a medication. Yes, the lasting effects are why I appreciate the treatment. Yeah, absolutely. Ketamine is for pain as well as for depression, PTSD. What was I just gonna look up? Oh my lord. Let's see. I'm just looking up what ketamine is because obviously it's not, it's produced. Okay, so yeah, so ketamine is all lab produced. It was created to replace phencyclidine, aka PCP, hallucinogenic, blah blah blah. So it was used created for an intravenous anesthetic until its severe side effects, blah blah blah. Oh, that was for PCP. Um, So yeah, I'm interested to know why you support ketamine, Marky, and not other things when it is produced in a lab. It is a drug. It's not a naturally occurring medication. What is HPV warts? Well, I think warts could be I think technically they're like a symptom of HPV, but like I think you can have warts and not test positive for HPV, but I think they are a type of HPV is in my I don't even like I'm not super educated on it, but I think it's the human papilloma virus, right? So and I think in most people, especially women, it tends to lie dormant and you test positive for it more on like high stress times when your immune system is triggered, things like that. But certain types of HPV will make you more prone to certain types of cervical cancer. But like I said, I'd be interested to look up the statistics, but I think like if I had to guess, and I'm probably way wrong, but I'd say at least over 50% of the women in America probably have HPV. I could definitely live without the downtime associated with treatment, but it's worth the benefit. Well, I'm glad, Tara. I'm glad it's working for you. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of any vaccines, but I don't know. Yeah, I gotcha. For people who don't want opiates for surgery, ketamine is better for addiction. Yeah, and Toradol. Toradol's a good option too. No, I'm not sure what that word is, Rob. Tonight, Selma obsidian is my sleep rock. Yes, I think it's warts. No. She doesn't do not do daily. No, genital warts, Marky, not regular warts. It's no. Just like if you get like a cold sore, it doesn't mean you have genital herpes. Um, Marky, ketamine isn't natural just because you trip. Yeah, I don't support lab drugs. Just say no to blue meth. Yeah, but you don't take it every day. You take a hero dose and hopefully it helps. The reason they use ketamine for pain mainly is because it doesn't suppress the respiratory drive. All right, so let me look up HPV. So yeah, it's a human papillomavirus. It's the most common STI. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm looking for how many people have it. Yeah, but that's the thing too with HPV. And this says in most cases, your body can produce antibodies against the virus and clear the virus within 1 to 2 years. Most strains of HPV go away permanently without treatment. Because of this, it isn't uncommon to to contract and clear the virus completely without ever knowing that you had it. I'm trying to see how many people have HPV. More than 42 million people in the US are infected with HPV. So what's the population? So 42 million. 338 million. So that's not half, but it's still a good chunk. Oh, that's what I was going to look up. How did we get on this topic? Oh yeah, vaccines. It's like, why are we talking about STDs? Okay, so yeah, genital warts are typically caused by HPV, but that doesn't mean that they're the most it's a severe type of HPV. That does not mean it's a severe type of HPV. And once genital warts are treated, they're gone, they're done. Like you don't have them anymore. You could still have HPV, but you don't have warts. All right, let's see. So you're okay with man-made meds as long as it isn't daily. I think maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marky, but I think you have more of an issue when it becomes a dependence. Like if you're on something that's going to cause side effects and symptoms if you stop abruptly, it seems like that's when you have an issue with it, right? If my kid got a wart on his pecker, I don't know, Marky. I don't know enough about it. Marky Rizzo, I'm going to ask my nurse practitioner for a hero dose and see what she says. Oh my Lord. I hope she uh um I don't know, slow-mo. I just heard people say it worked for them in a clinical setting. Other than that, I don't know much. I was gonna say, but like people say like Suboxone and methadone work for them in clinical settings and fentanyl works in clinical settings, but I'm not, again, like I'm totally for ketamine. I'm just saying I'm surprised that you are is all. I got you. I appreciate perspective. No, I figured, Tara. I figured. All right, let's see. I wonder what like if you're given 100 milligrams in the first hour and then 50 in the next hour versus just 150 once, like how would that affect your long-term results any differently? Wouldn't that just affect the trip, or is there different, like, do you see what I'm saying? I'm asking you, Tara. I'm not sure if there's an answer for that. I learned so much on Kimmy's Playhouse. I think we all do, including me. I think we all do. Um, my subs are a clinical setting. Yeah. Yep. God, it's been a random night, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I think they're always a little bit random, right? Yeah, no, I figured she was, but I'm also glad she's joking too. Yeah. Good question. I think 150 milligram dose would affect the trip for sure. Right. I think it would affect the trip, but is the trip important to you? Is the trip as important to you as reducing your depression in the long term? And I'm genuinely curious about how important the trip itself is for you. I'm also the other thing I'm confused about, and I was going to look this up. I know you had talked about, I did not realize that ketamine was something that you set intentions with. Let's see. Whoops. Ah, I hate this phone. All right, let's see. Slow-mo, have you ever come off of a medication besides trying subs? He says, yay or yeah. They're both important to me. The trip is important to you. Can you explain why it's important to you? The trip is significant in my opinion. As far as hmm, interesting. I'm trying to think of do you feel that the trip somehow helps reset your brain in a way, or is it again, like, I'm asking these questions because I'm ignorant about it. I don't understand it. Um, to me, and again, like, this is just my ignorance. I don't know how it works, but, like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm trying to word what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say. I came off meth, coke, pain pills without taking steps before. Also came off of Wellbutrin. That Suboxone fucked me up and fucked me up good. I'm traumatized. Yeah, I can relate. Well, not to how probably how bad it was for you, but I don't blame you, Marky. It haunts me daily. The trip is just as much of a journey on the lasting effects. Oh, interesting. See, that's what I have a hard time wrapping my mind around, and I'm not denying that it's true, but I have a hard time wrapping my mind around it. Because to in my head, that goes to the fact that it's like and again, I know it's not a high, but that's where my mind goes. Like, it's about euphoria or and again, like, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that's, like, sort of my ignorance in that. I would love to quit subs, but it's rough, especially while haunting a job. You almost have to take a week off and be sick. Yeah, so Drew, I took 2 weeks off of work when I came like I actually I took 2 weeks off and planned my taper around that 2 weeks so that I would jump when I had the time off of work. I think I could have worked, but I'm glad that I did take that time off. Um and I actually jumped like, I didn't think it was that high of a dose at a time, but now since then, hearing other people, I believe it was way, way too high of a dose because I jumped at 0.5 milligram. But, yes, my nurse practitioner says treatment is like a reset. Okay. I will not have a good relationship with big pharma either after this, pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. I always swear I'll remember everything I was thinking during the infusion, but I forget tons of it. I'm right there with you, Drew. I'm literally trying to jump now. I keep negotiating. Yeah, I remember that. I remember negotiating. I did that more when I was on pain pills and on Suboxone, but ketamine turns on our subconscious to the fullest, so our daily problems can be easily fixable through self-reflection. Hmm, interesting. It's not a euphoric experience for me. It can be for some. It's more like a shift in perspective. Okay. It's good to know. And again, Tara, like, I hope you don't, I hope I'm not offending you. Like, I'm not trying to invalidate anything. I'm just trying to understand because I've not ever experienced anything like that before. So it's harder for me to wrap my brain around it. I honestly think that's the only way. We just lay in bed sick. That's how I quit fentanyl. Yeah, I mean, I stayed as active as I could after I jumped. It was right around, so it'll be 2 years next Friday. And so I got out every day, Christmas shopped, and I definitely laid around a lot still because obviously, like, I wasn't sleeping very much. I did sleep, like, I didn't ever not sleep. I just wasn't sleeping a lot. Um, but it wasn't the severity, but again, like, my drug of choice was Norco. And even Norco, the severity of Norco withdrawal was worse for me than Suboxone. It's just how long Suboxone lasted, you know? Tara's saying, oh, no euphoria. It's not the withdrawal that gets you. It's the sun cycle it takes to heal. Right. Exactly, Marky. Exactly. The mental part of subs is what makes me keep taking it. Yeah, Jill, I can relate 100%. Brother, hit me up if you ever need support. I'm on Tala's Discord. The depression is hell coming off subs. Yeah. So for me, like the depression didn't hit until post acute withdrawal. So I would say between like 1 and 2 months after I came off of Suboxone is when the depression hit. But I also did a relatively quick taper. I can't remember. I keep saying it was around 6 months, but to be honest with you, like I didn't write it down. I should have written it down. I just give very like broad estimates. I don't know. But I didn't really struggle with depression until I was completely off for a little bit. I'm so scared of the depression. You'll get through it. You will. It sucks, but it's not horrible. I'm not offended at all. I stopped caring about what people think when I decided to try ketamine therapy. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, I always say I'm like, I don't care what people think. I do care what people think, but about that I understand 100%. I really just am trying to understand is all. But it's also not overly as important that I understand as that you understand, you know? I'm learning from you, Tara. I had no idea to set an intention, and I'll try it next time if they order more for me. I'm planning on taking off in the next year because I have ADHD and I just can't focus, so I have to take off work. Okay, Drew. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, Marky ain't scared for the withdrawal. Been there, did that. Yeah, just trying to wrap my head around coming out on the other side. Yeah, well, I feel like that's almost harder. Yeah, you've been there, you've done that, so you know what to expect, but I feel like that almost adds this sort of layer to it, Morrison, where it's like, I just went through this. Now I gotta do it again, you know? I mean, you can do it, you know you can do it, but I absolutely understand where you're coming from. The stomach part of sub scares me. I didn't What do you mean by that, Jill? I didn't have any stomach issues on it or off of it other than constipation and then diarrhea, but that's it. KG, the depression freaks me out too. Jill, I'm having some. Oh yeah, I never had ever had stomach issues. CH, I'd love to hear how it goes if you try it out. Throwing up definitely sucks, but when I was on fentanyl, oh, I've never thrown up in my life from withdrawal ever. Ever. I've never even been sick to my stomach. I used to get heartburn when I was in withdrawal, but diarrhea, and that was the only like GI issue I feel like that I had. Come on. Come on. Um, Maybe from that big burger I just ate. Yeah, it could be. Or hot chili custard and brownies. I'm psyching myself. Don't psych yourself out. You're gonna be just fine. You're gonna be just fine. If you take Adderall and subs and you want to quit subs, I find the Adderall withdrawal beneficial because at least I can sleep. Yeah, I heard of a lot of people, well, because over the summer, I feel like when Adderall was so like on such shortage, a lot of people were having to like cold turkey off their Adderall. And I feel like most of the people I heard from were like, if there's no withdrawal, you just sleep. But so I did hear that people sleep a lot when they come off of Adderall. but I wonder if they're still having shortages with that kind of stuff. They were having those shortages, and they were having, like, Ozempic and Wegovy and all those because I feel like since COVID, obviously, with kind of the increase in telehealth, I feel like the ADHD prescriptions, the MAT prescriptions, the weight loss prescriptions, they just, like, skyrocketed, you know? I remember when I went to detox for meth, seeing those come off subs and methadone, I said to myself, "I can do this, at least I ain't them," and here we are. Yeah, but again, you've done this before, and it wasn't that I mean, was it really that bad? I mean, it sucks, but was it that bad, you know? Drew Rinker, I deal with the attention condition too. I've been working with my nurse practitioner on this, and things are so much better these days, thank God. Um, Tara, how like, outside of your ketamine treatments, like, how often would you typically see your nurse practitioner? I have lots of problems with vomiting since the MBA. My small intestine ruptured, was emergency resection, and then developed scar tissue blocks and had more surgeries. Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that, CH. Wow. Do they have any answers for you? And were they able to resolve a lot of the scar tissue that you had? I'm curious. Well, are they treating your issues with nausea and vomit or with vomiting with anything? Coming off coke was a cakewalk compared to opiate withdrawal. That's what I've heard, Drew. That's what I've heard. Hey, Jill. They always have shortages. They'll always have shortages, except fent, plenty of that. Yeah, they always will. But I mean, it was huge. It was huge with Adderall, and the weight loss, the GLP ones or twos or whatever the hell they are. I can't remember. Um, can ketamine and mushrooms, chocolate bar doses be the same? It's both psychedelic properties that open up your subconscious. No clue, Eric. Absolutely no idea. Tara, have you found anything that actually helps that isn't a narcotic? Well, I'll let her answer, but I think there are non-narcotics involved as well. 100% Drew, coke and meth are very was easy. It was just the triggers and mental cravings. But honestly, like, and again, like, I've not ever come off of like fentanyl or heroin or anything, but I feel like with a lot of things, the triggers and cravings are typically the worst part. I mean, at least like for me, I still occasionally get triggers and mental cravings, and I've been off Suboxone for 2 years, you know? I was seeing her every 2 to 4 weeks prior to treatment, just saw her yesterday, and we'll see her again in 2 weeks. It's time to evaluate. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, I guess maybe, you've got to medications to monitor and things like that. When I was on I think because when I was on opioids, I had to see mine every 3 months. It was, like, required, but, hmm, I guess it can keep coming back now over and over. The scar tissue, yeah, unfortunately, I can. So, they gave you is that one Compazine or Reglan, Morrison? Um, CH, can you just, before I suggest what I'm gonna suggest to you, and I'm sorry to ask you this, but sometimes I get people's stories confused. Can you just what were your addictions to? Were they opioids or any other substances? Because I was gonna give you a recommendation, but I wanna be careful what I recommend. Ketamine and psilocybin are completely different, Eric. Yeah. Yeah, I would have no idea how to answer that. I'm getting my ginger ale right now. Jill, actually, like, it took me forever to find, but I did find some diet ginger ale a couple weeks back when I was having a lot of nausea when I started Lamictal for a week. Um, Ginger ale is awesome. Damn, I got a Charlie Brown tree. It didn't fall too well. Is it a real tree? Oh, you did say you were getting a real one, right? I kinda like Charlie Brown trees a little bit, Marky. I like when there's a little bit of a gap. I want pictures when you're done with it. I wanna see. My L2 lumbar spine was also broken badly in the accident. I'm very lucky. I'm not paralyzed, so there was a lot of damage in that area of my abdomen. Oh, wow, CH. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad, all things considering, that you're doing as well as you are. That the thing that bothers me the most is I hate feeling cold and I get the chills like crazy coming off of subs. Yeah. I feel like my chills were always worse than my hot flashes. I did get hot flashes, but not nearly as bad as the chills with the subs. And it was winter, obviously, so it was worse. But yeah, I know, I know. But for me, the worst was the restless legs and the restless arms. And it was funny to me because when I came off of and again, my drug of choice was Norco. But whenever I came off of Norco cold turkey, I never had, as far as I can remember, I never had restless arms, or restless legs or restless arms. But coming off Suboxone, I did. And that for me, like physically, was probably the worst thing. Like next to lack of sleep, it was the RLS. You're right about that. 10 years and still had a craving for uppers. Yeah, Morrison, that's tough. So you've come off before Drew. Why is my thing? Drew, I'm taking a prescribed stimulant right now. It isn't a narcotic and works really well for me, thank God. Zofran, that's what I thought, Morrison. Thank you for clarifying. I quit fentanyl and carfentanil. Heroin, clean from those 3 years, but on substance. Well, that's awesome, Drew. Congratulations. That's awesome. You can never tell when they're all curled up. I know, Marky. I know. Okay, but you came off subs before. Proud of you, bro. Oh wow, Tara is love to know what it is. Eric, ketamine and psilocybin can be used as adjunct treatments, but act differently. If I had a prescription stimulant, I would be scoring meth the next day. Right. Yeah. And I often wondered how that went because I know a lot of people that are in like recovery from stimulants who are now taking like certain like stimulant weight loss medications. And if it works for them, great. But I often wondered if that had the potential to like maybe cause cravings and triggers. What is it, Tara? I'm tired of chugging coffee. Um, no slow-mo, I've only tried. Okay, how low have you tapered before? What does your taper schedule look like, Drew? Just curious. Drew, I take prescribed Adderall. It works great for me. Yeah, Adderall. That's what I take too. Modafinil helped me. I hope my med disclosure isn't triggering to anyone. I mean, if it is, they're probably not in the in the right live stream. Even at 9 months when I laid down, I didn't have restless legs, but I had that feeling in my legs, a reminder of the sub damage. I don't like the term restless legs because I don't think that it properly like captures the discomfort. To me, when I hear restless legs, it's just like you want to you want to move them, which is true, but it doesn't describe, at least for me, that bone deep ache. Oh, horrible, horrible bone deep ache. And it's funny because I still every once in a while get that. Not anywhere near to the extent that it was coming off of Suboxone, but every once in a while I'll get it in one or the other of my legs. Doesn't last long, but Adderall isn't helping me like it did for the first few years. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. Have you tried any of the other ones like Strattera or anything like that? Drew Rinker, have you talked to your prescriber about it? A lot of people are getting cut off cold turkey off their ADHD meds now because I feel like that's the next thing coming now, after the opioid crisis. Like primary care providers especially like don't want to like take on the liability of prescribing anything controlled anymore. Benzos, stimulants. And so most people have to go to an actual psychiatrist to get a lot of stuff like that. I see it in these Facebook groups every day. No, I just need something a little less. For me, I would end up selling the Adderall and getting meth. At least I know I can never do that. I actually have ADD and could get it, but won't. It's really good that you're aware of that, Morrison, though, and that you do function as well as you do without, that you're able to still function, that you're not having to like, I mean, I'm sure you could. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but that it's wonderful that you're able to get by without it. RLS sucks. Yeah, KG Smith. That was probably the most uncomfortable physical part for me for sure. Me too, I've just accepted it. Oh, so you do? Because I wondered, Marky, I wasn't sure if it was still, like, twinges from the Suboxone or if because I still have other issues, like, where that are unrelated, where my feet spasm very badly at night, especially. They will literally, like, both of them will or one or the other will contract very, very painfully over and over again. So I didn't know if it was somehow related to whatever I have going on with that. Jill, I was drinking 5 cups of coffee a day when I started seeing my nurse practitioner. She did not like that. LOL, down to 2 now. It's not bad because I'm so relaxed. Yeah, yeah. You're not triggering me, Tara. It's a good reminder for me, but so happy it helps many peeps. Yeah, absolutely. Um, here's where did I go? Oh, that's how I feel about cannabis today. Glad it helps so many. I just can't partake right now. Yeah, and that's good that you're aware of that. Here's the thing, I guarantee I can walk into any doctor or psychiatrist with nothing wrong and come out with any medication. I don't think you could. I think close to, but I don't think you're coming away with hardcore opiates, not now. Or even benzos. Only because they're scared, not because they wouldn't necessarily want to, but because they're scared. Um, but most, I do believe that you could walk in and get a prescription for most things without any evidence, because yeah. Yep. They probably won't crack down on Adderall, to be honest. Many healthcare providers misuse it. Oh, yeah, I know. In the doctor forum I go to, a lot of med students use Adderall to get through med school. But still, primary care providers are prescribing it less and less, which honestly, I do think there's a scope. Like, I understand, like, it's hard to get into specialists. So primary care providers can be bridge providers, but I do think, like, there are scopes that should be adhered to. I take 2 12-milligram films a day, half dose at a time, and every time I taper down, I end up getting sick and going back up again. I have no idea what that noise was. That's interesting. So you're taking oh, that's Rob. Okay, so you're taking 24 milligrams a day. So you're pretty much at the ceiling, right? You're at the bupe ceiling and you're experiencing withdrawal. I'm curious if you think it's possible that any of that is psychosomatic, because a lot of people, when they taper, don't really experience much withdrawal until they get to 2 milligrams and below. A lot of people, again, not everybody, but a lot of people are able to taper very, very quickly from extremely high doses down to 2 milligrams without issue. It's usually once you get to 2 milligrams and below that the withdrawal really starts to kind of set in. I'm pretty screwed up. It's pretty screwed up. Many nurses, medics, EMTs abuse Adderall, yet judge peeps on subs or street drugs. Yeah, Morrison, absolutely. Hypocrites. Right, Marky, it's disgusting. I can, but stop doing it. I was thinking the other day when the opiate epidemic happened here, where did all these doctors come from? They would show up and leave just as fast. That's a good question. I never thought about that at all. That is a good question. That's actually sad, and I hope it doesn't come down to that because I really do have ADHD and it does help. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I totally believe ADHD is real, 100%. But I do think it's not everybody that's diagnosed with it has it. I'm sorry, but it's very, very it's a very popular diagnosis, and it seems to just be getting diagnosed more and more, and I understand that there are situations, there are people that have not been able to obtain medical care before, um, things like that, and I know, like, I'm not trying to generalize, but I do think it is very overdiagnosed. But again, I also think it is real and that there are people that do have it, absolutely. But that's the thing too, I think those are situations where, um, a good psychiatrist knows if you have ADHD or ADD, they know. Primary care providers don't have that sort of depth of scope in there. So it's gonna be I feel like it's, if people have legitimate need, then they're gonna get what they need from psychiatrists. If they can get into one, that's a whole nother freaking can of worms. I believe you could get something, Marky. They tried to give me 30 oxys, yeah. See, around here, like I said, unless your femur is sticking straight out of your leg, you ain't getting opioids. I always wondered if it wasn't the CIA or something. There can't be that many crooked doctors. I don't know as if they were crooked as much as they were brainwashed in a way, um, enticed by a lot of money, things like that. Drew, don't worry about it. Big Pharma will always be here. The OB docs I work for give 30 Norco to go home after a simple delivery. I want to say, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's why, like, and this again, like everybody's different, but so like, and then weight loss surgery support group I run, there are people who are on a Dilaudid PCA after laparoscopic weight loss surgery. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? It's laparoscopic abdominal surgery. Tylenol and Toradol should be just fine. And if not, how about a little bit of morphine? Like, why are we giving IV Dilaudid? I don't know. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I think that's ridiculous. My surgeon doesn't give any opioids after surgery. You get 1 dose from the anesthesiologist and pack you, and that's it. After that, it's Tylenol and Toradol, and he's like, "There's no need for anything else. It's laparoscopic. Like, I took all the gas out of you, and it's gas laparoscopic pain is gas pain. You have to walk to get it out, you know?" Um, CIA Marquee, they're in charge of pushing the drugs. We were in Afghanistan sweeping the poppy fields and then poof, pain clinics anywhere. Yeah, well, there's something there, Marky, for sure. Yeah, Slomo, I've noticed that some nurses, over they know you are in an opiate, their whole attitude towards you changes like you are scum. Yeah, not at all, because I know some nurses that are very caring. Yeah, a lot of doctors were like that too, Drew. Like as soon as they hear you're on certain medications, they automatically assume you're a drug seeker, a malinger, whatever the case may be. Um, Yeah, I'm actually that's why I was glad now that it's been almost 2 years, like, there's no more record of me having taken Suboxone except for the places that prescribed it to me, like, it's off my pharmacy record, it's off all that shit. Because I almost feel like Suboxone has a higher stigma in that regard because then they know, well, m again, I know some people take Suboxone for pain, but for the majority of people, "Oh, that person was an addict." RQ, you know what's up, bruh? After I had my 3rd child is when I first got high from pain meds, didn't even need them. Yeah. Yep. It's gotta be that. Oh, yes, very possible and could be my brain confusing opiate withdrawal and nicotine withdrawal. I don't think I've ever had physical symptoms from nicotine withdrawal. I've been very irritable, but I'm irritable anyway. But yeah, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just asking if you think it's possible that, again, like we know how strong the brain is and that you can very easily manifest symptoms because you're worrying about those symptoms. Um, but again, like I'm not saying it's not possible. That and they had to get the Nephilim DNA from Peg Dad. Where do they come from? Okay, CIA and something something. The Sackler family, yeah. Slomo, you have red hair, don't you? I do. Sacklers are responsible for us having to do a pain scale. I hate the pain scale. I hate it so much. First of all, because I've never I'm like, I don't know, somewhere between a 2 and a 4. Like I hate the pain scale. But I always used to read back when I was drug seeking in the forums, they'd always say, don't ever say you're in 10 out of 10, because if you're in 10 out of 10, you're not sitting up talking, you're not on your phone, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Like, but and they're like, if you say you're in 10 out of 10 pain, like doctors are never gonna believe you ever. I know, and I should. I did at one point, and I don't know it. I could probably find it out, but I don't know. I wanna say I'm AB positive, but I'm not entirely sure. Why do you think the joke is gingers will steal your soul? Pain, the fifth vital sign. Yeah, yeah. I'm Irish, bro. B plus. You may be descendants. What you consider a giant, I might be offended. No, he's not. We're talking about like tall people, or well, not in that regard. I'll let him explain. We all have a little Nephilim in us at this point. Probably the bloodlines are screwed. You never banged a ginger? Ginger ale is so good. Yeah, it has to be, I don't care for that Schweppes or whatever that brand is. It's gotta be Canada Dry. I don't know. I like red-haired and auburn-haired girls. They're always the sweetest. Oh, really? I thought red-haired girls were known for their fiery tempers and their drama. 54%. Maybe that's only people with dyed red hair. I don't know. Somo ginger connection. I'm short of Marky, short AF Marky, shortest Nephilim ever. Irish ginger here, though I'm more of an auburn. 10 is when they're carrying you in. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I get that it's subjective because it's like, I don't know, is it supposed to be like based out of the worst pain that you've ever felt or the worst pain that you can imagine feeling? You know? Same here, Jill. Scottish here, a little bit of Irish. I'm always choking. Yeah, I have a lot of Irish roots too. I have a little bit of everything. Yeah, same here, Tara. A little bit of everything. 6 is when you can drive yourself to the doctor. I'm not, Morrison. I'm just saying, I thought that's what I heard. I mean, obviously, I love redheads. Like, I go to the salon every month to try to become a redhead, you know? I told him I was at a 7 in pain and got 30 oxys. Yeah. What is the worst physical pain that you have all of y'all have ever experienced in your life? Not what you imagine the worst pain to be, but the worst pain that you have ever experienced in your life. Mine was I always want to say it's probably when I tore my ACL, but it was so quick, that intense burst of pain, that I don't remember how bad it was. It was horrible, but I want to say it was my back with my slip discs in L4, L5, and L5 S1. That's probably the worst pain I ever had. And that probably at its worst was, depending on the way I moved, maybe like an 8. But when I was not moving, maybe like a 6. 10 is when your foot is amputated. I don't know. If I had to guess, I would say 10 would either be like a broken femur, broken jaw, kidney stones. Actually, I had a guy lose his foot and he said he had a 6 on. Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen people that lost feet and they were just like, eh. When I blew my ACL and MCL. Yeah, so mine was just my ACL, but I do remember it was the pain was so intense that I saw white, like, all I could see was white or, like, white light. It was horrible, but that intense part didn't last too long. But the problem, Marky, I was so fucking pissed because I don't swell. Like when I am injured, I do not swell. And my primary care provider at the time was like, "Oh, it's just a sprain." And I was like, "No, it's not just a sprain." And she's like, "Yeah, it is. There's no swelling." And I was like, "I swear to you, it's not just a sprain." But back then you couldn't see specialists without a referral. So months and months later, when the pain was gone, but my knee was stuck in this position, she was like, I think maybe it's not just a sprain and it's time for you to go see a surgeon." And he was pissed. Like he ended up contacting her and he's like, "Don't ever do that again. Like always send people to me." Because by that point, my ACL was unrepairable. There wasn't enough left of my ACL for them to repair it. So they had to remove part of my hamstring and build me a new ACL. Wisdom teeth growing in was the worst pain I remember. Oh, really? Breaking bones when I was younger was probably worse, but I can't remember. Wow. And what would you rate that, on the pain scale, your wisdom teeth, Tara? A burn is the worst pain. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forget about burns. Forgot about that. Trying to stand on broken knee replacement. Oh, that hurts just thinking about it. Cracked 2 ribs and tore that knee up. Yep. The problem is patients don't understand the scale. They will say a 10 when they are on the phone. Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. But it might be the worst pain that they've ever felt though. So maybe to them it is a 10, it's just not really that bad. You know what I mean? But maybe it's the worst thing that they've ever felt. So they're like, "Yeah, it's a 10 because I've never felt anything this bad before." But that's why I hate it because it's so subjective, you know? I don't I yeah, I like objective data. It was either a few weeks ago or when I fractured my right arm and have surgery. Okay. All right. 10 is delivering a baby. But I think that too depends on the person, you know, because I can't speak. I've not done it, but I've heard from people that said it was like, well, and these people didn't have epidurals, but that said it wasn't that bad. You can't talk when you're at a 10. Um, if someone is at a 10, you can tell they're done. Yeah, that's a good point, Morrison. Really, Tara? Oh my god, you must have had but wait, aren't you still have your wisdom teeth in, and they don't hurt you anymore, or do they? Because if they must be super impacted. Holy crap. Trust me, I live with this pet peeve. I stopped even asking the pain scale because it pissed me off. Yeah, Morrison, I can't imagine. That's yeah. Ironically enough, now I'm getting them pulled. Yeah. Yeah, but it's super easy. You'll be good. You'll be good. I was in shock when I broke my bones, didn't feel a thing. I knock on wood, I've never broken a bone in my life, ever. I've been burned, second-degree burns. I've injured my ACL and my back, but I've never actually broken anything. Jill, I felt everything when I fractured my arm, had to be left like that for 2 weeks waiting on surgery. Yeah, I bet. Oh, that must have sucked. Post MVA with my hand dangling as both wrist bones broke, twisted, etc. Maybe the phrasing in the bottom of the foot when my toe was almost severed. Saw that white light you described. Yeah, wow, CH. Wow. Mm. I heard from somebody recently who had a gallbladder attack, and he said that was the worst thing he's ever felt. And he legit thought he was having a heart attack. Like that's how bad the gallbladder attack was. It's like, man, I'm not looking forward to that because I've got my gallbladder is full of gallstones, but knock on wood, I've never had an attack. Well, I like a feisty attitude, so maybe that's why. Wait, are we still talking about are you are you talking about redheads? Is that what it is? That's when I got hooked to pain pills. Yeah. So mine was obviously from my knee years after I originally injured it, but I also was very, very heavy. And so that obviously didn't help things. But I was having like the shooting, like there was my knee, and then I was having pain shoot up to my hip and down to the bottom of my foot. And that's how I got put on them regularly. Obviously, I'd been prescribed them for short stints here and there for other things, but that's how I was put on them, like 150 a month was for that pain that I had. All right, guys, probably in the next half an hour, I'm going to wrap it up because I still have to have dinner and wind down for bed or for bed and for work. My mom had to have emergency gallbladder surgery. She said it was worse than childbirth. Yeah. Well, so are you saying that she's said that the attack itself was worse than childbirth or after surgery? Because I've heard from most, again, everybody's different, but from most people that gallbladder surgery is one of the easiest recoveries ever. My weight loss surgeon also, I mean, he's a general surgeon, so he also does gallbladders. And he was like, those are the two procedures I will never prescribe opioids for, gallbladder and gastric bypass, because the recoveries are so painless. I was on them for months, Roxy's too, yeah. My best friend pulled my wisdom tooth for me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Marky, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I thought it was bad enough that I let my best friend cut my hair. I just snorted them after a while. I tried to snort them and it didn't make a damn bit of difference. So I was like, there's no point. That's just one extra step, you know? It had to come out. So even back then, you had a distrust of the medical community, it seems, right? Because otherwise, why wouldn't you have just gone to the dentist? Sober, no, nothing. Wow. Wow. Tooth removal from a friend. Oh my God. Honey, not right now. My buddy asked me to pull his broken teeth. Fuck no. Oh my God. I can't imagine. I cannot imagine. Thought Rob was going to bed, but he's sending me videos on Facebook. The dentist will be extracting my wisdom teeth. Yeah, so you're doing it the right way, Tara, the right way. I was obsessed with snorting things. Okay. All right. Yeah, I never noticed a difference. Like I snorted Xanax, I snorted pain pills, but to me it was always exactly the same as taking them orally. So I mean, it was loose. It wasn't like it was in there, but it hurt like a mofo. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't imagine. Holy crap. Hey, honey. Wow. What did he use? Did he use like pliers or did he do like the old tie a string around it? I have to get back to work. It was nice meeting all of you. All right, Drew. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you have a good night. Um, Tooth pain hurts like hell. Yeah, it does. It does. Be good, Drew. See you, Drew. Have a good night. Yeah. Rubber glove. He pinched and pulled. The old pinch and pull. That's funny. Honey. Oh, my neck hurts. Wow. Morrison, don't you go back to work tomorrow? Pliers is the way to go. Fuck no. Fuck no. After the first initial pull, you don't feel it. Well, yeah. Oh my God. I got a 10 going on my stomach. LOL, JK. Yeah. Going on in my stomach. Yeah. Hmm. LOL, you'll know. Yeah, the good old pain scale, whatever. Jill, drop those kids off at the pool. That's funny. Marky, did you schedule your test yet? Oh, Rob sent me a TikTok video about some kind of mushrooms. I don't know why he sends me stuff like that. So yeah, Morrison, do you go back to work tomorrow, right? Are you excited or are you dreading it? Oh, that's right. You may have told me that before. The 5th and the 16th. Okay. All right. A little less than a month. You go back tomorrow. Are you excited or are you dreading it? I usually by like the week mark, I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm ready. I'm doing my stretches now, getting ready to lift. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea that you're stretching with how long you've been out. I think that's a good idea. I will not used to eating so much, gained 12 pounds. Oh, wow. Oh, you got your bonus, Marky. I'm jealous. Yeah, our Christmas bonuses are kind of not really a thing for us, but it's fine. Very happy to go back. Good. You immediately gave it to Best Buy. That's all right. For something for you or for Christmas gifts? It helps me not overthink. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend at work, but I'm excited to go back. It's always a lot funner, I feel like, around the holidays. Plus, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a bunch of presents waiting for me that I need to wrap when I get there. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna wrap some of my presents. Oh, well. You guys aren't gonna wanna watch that. I'm a horrible get present wrapper, horrible, but I love it. I love to do it. I feel that, Marky. I never get shit for the crumb snatchers. Aw, what'd you get them? Like video game stuff, computer stuff? I like to know what people get for Christmas and what they buy other people for Christmas. I'm very nosy like that. You gotta buy your son a PlayStation. How much are they? Like a PS5, Morrison? Aren't they like 3 to 500 or something? You bought an Xbox. Okay. Most expensive gift that I've bought so far is for my brother and his boyfriend, and it's some weird like coffee grinder, and it was just like $100. $500 for a PlayStation 5, or was that the Xbox that you paid 500 for? I don't think my parents would have ever spent $500 on me when I was a kid ever. And we didn't hurt like we didn't like I mean we got nice stuff on Christmas, but $500 they would have never. But also, I mean that was the 90s, so maybe things were different, but I don't know. Either one, they're both 500. Oh, okay. Wow. 400. Okay. I mean, I think I have about 9 people that I shop for. Um And I usually spend between, like, 1 and 200 on each person. It depends on who the person is, but maybe we'll say, I don't know. I probably spend, like, $1,000 a little 1,000 or a little more on Christmas for everybody. So, my kids are ungrateful. Oh, I'm sorry, Marky. I'm sorry. Do you think that that's, like, this generation, you know? I kinda do. I mean, as somebody that doesn't have kids, so I can't really say, but I kinda feel like it's a generational thing. My son is super grateful. He was always telling us we don't have to spend so much. Oh, that's really cool. All kids are ungrateful. Your wife spoils them. Well, we get him a ton of gifts because it's Christmas and his birthday is December 30th, so we do a combo. Okay, that's cool. Teenagers are the worst. Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm glad I don't have to deal with any of that headache, you know? I didn't wanna get him that because of his behavior. Oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know how I would deal with that. I don't know how. Entitlement and ungratefulness is probably like they're probably like my biggest pet peeves. We're in we ingrained in him that money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, yeah. Do you make them do chores? Oh, that's a good one, Jill. We used to get like $5 a week allowance if we did all of our chores. I do. One is completely different than the other or from the other. Oh, okay. Hmm. Is the one who is ungrateful, is he the younger one? My son takes care of the cat for his chore and I make him memorize Bible verses. Okay. Hmm. Oh, the older one. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. What'd you ask for Christmas this year, Marky? What's on your wish list? You know what I added to mine? I like randomly I was cleaning the other night and I texted my mom and I was like, "You know what I asked for a lot of practical shit this year, which I never do. I like fun stuff. I like fun stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be an adult and ask for shit I need. Like, I'll just buy that. But I was like, you know what I need is a handheld wireless mini vacuum cleaner because I have to vacuum around the litter box every single day. And the cats hate the big vacuum. So I was like, it'd be so nice if I didn't have to drag this big ass thing out every single day. So I was like, let me get a handheld wireless vacuum or cordless, whatever you call it, vacuum cleaner. The shoes. Oh yeah, the Nike or were they Nike? Yeah, that's right. I asked for a body hair trimmer, a good one that won't nick my balls. That's not a fun gift either, Marky. Sneakers are way more fun than that. I also asked for a new nonstick deep frying pan or skillet. Kind of looks like a Dutch oven, but it's not a Dutch oven. It's a frying pan because I cook everything in them. And mine, like the nonstick coating on mine has like practically all worn off. I thought about asking for a new air fryer because I really need a new air fryer. And I thought, you know what? I could get rid of my air fryer and my Instant Pot and ask for air fryer, Instant Pot combination, but I'll just buy it for myself. I get him to memorize the Bible verses that remind him he can do anything with Christ and the ones about not being afraid. Oh, that's cool. A tiny house, Santa, please. Yeah, Jill, that's cool. I would love that too. A good trimmer is key, bruh. Tiny house rage. Yeah, right. Um, I told her not the Manscaped lawnmower. My God. Oops, sorry. Don't eat my hair. Mm. Yeah. I'm really like getting super nervous because my sister still has not told me one thing that oh shit, I'm supposed to have another Amazon package coming tonight. Amazon, you asshole. It says arriving by 8 p.m. Well, it's after 8 p.m. Still arriving today. Package is out for delivery. Seriously? So how can people say one time I could see where one time I could see where the driver was. Oh wait. How does it say that they're still out for delivery? Well, anyway. So I started ordering my sister and her boy or her husband things that I think they would like, which I hate doing because people in my family, like if they don't ask for it, they probably don't like it, or they don't want it. I ordered I almost said my stepbrother, my brother-in-law, because he's really into this stuff. Um, uh, hot sauce variety pack. and I ordered my sister a personalized cat mug and a book, but they have not told me anything that they want, and so I'm at a loss. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to get for them. Oh, I have the Manscaped, but want a better one. Oh, so that is actually like the name of an item, the Manscaped. You're not right, Marky. Well, we know this. We know this. Oh, I'm gonna Google it. I finally ordered my microphone on Amazon so I can record my music. Oh, good. They say the lawnmower 4.0. Well, eh, I think they're full of shit, and I think it's gonna update and say, "Your package is running late." Um, so has Amazon just, like, substantially gotten more business in the last, like, year or what? Because why are the majority of drivers either in Penske trucks or in their own personal vehicles or rented vans rather than, like, Amazon, you know? Or do they just run out of trucks? I don't know. I'm looking this up, the Manscaped. Oh, it's a brand. Oh, interesting. Oh, so it's actually for your testicles. Interesting. A 3.0. That seems like a lot of work instead of just getting a razor, you know? My neck is killing me. All right, what's my battery at? 50%. It's because they contracted out now. Oh, okay. Interesting. I really wish I could stop saying certain things, interesting being one of them. Bentley. They found more people would drive as 1099 instead of W-2s. Really? I hate that. I hate 1099. I feel like you get taxed at a higher rate. I'm hungry. I gotta wrap this up in like 15 minutes, you guys, because I need to eat dinner. Mm, stop it. You can't eat my computer, dude. So, Marky, did you finish decorating the tree yet? Because I'm holding you to that. I want to see a picture of it. I love seeing people's Christmas trees. Did you put one up yet, Morrison, for your son? Interesting, you know? That's the other thing I say all the time. And sometimes I watch it on playback and I'm like, God, shut up. Um, that's what I'm saying. And there's another one. It's so annoying. And I don't even realize it when I'm doing it. Oh, the thing is, eating late, what time do you get up again? Well, it depends. Like on work, like tomorrow, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I get up at my alarm goes off at 5:05 a.m. I don't ever get a lot of sleep Thursday into Friday, usually 2 to 3 hours, just because I sleep in too much on my days off. Like this morning, I didn't get up until, I don't know, it was like 9:30 or 10, but I didn't have my first meal until 4 o'clock this evening. And I did like the egg scramble because I had actual ham that I had to use, like real ham that my mom made a couple days ago. So I did my scrambled egg bake with scrambled egg, ham, spinach, or Brussels sprouts and potatoes and cheese. And I made 2 servings of it. So I had half of it at like 3:30 and I'll have the other half when I get off of here. Oh, you haven't put one up yet. Your son comes tomorrow, so we'll put it up then. Okay. So your son's gonna be with you when you live or in your care during your first live stream, huh? Eggs sound so good right now. Yeah, I eat a lot. That was the last of my eggs. My mom's chickens, for some reason, like they've not been laying regularly lately. So I've been buying my eggs at the grocery store. I have some sausage I need to do tomorrow, but I'm so boring. It'll also be with Brussels sprouts and potatoes. Gonna build a gingerbread house. Oh, Morrison, thank you for reminding me. My mom has a kit and I keep forgetting to ask when we're gonna do it. But I was like, we need to get the kits that are already like pre-assembled because that's like the worst part is putting the icing on and it says it's supposed to be dry and then it's not and then the whole thing falls apart. And as somebody that has issues with my mood, that is a disaster waiting to happen. And it's almost a guarantee that I will split trying to put a gingerbread house together unless it's pre-assembled. But other than that, I love stuff like that. My mushroom Swiss burger made me high. Oh, did it? Oh, what did I eat that I felt high from recently? Oh, I can't remember. Maybe it was no, it wasn't the first meal after the fast because that was a salad. But I ate something and I felt a buzz after and I was like, "What the maybe it was because it was, like, high in carbs and I wasn't used to carbs, but I don't remember what it was." Yeah, the PB2 powder, I used to use it all the time, Marky. I'm gonna make protein smoothies again. I used to use after surgery, we used PB2 all the time. I could live off burgers. They don't ever taste the same when you do them yourself either, I feel like. I would choose burgers any day over pizza or Mexican or anything like that. I would choose burgers. He will be here during the live. Yep, gonna let him play the Nintendo DS while I stream. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, Morrison Marquis says, "Are you using StreamYard?" It's been so long, Marky, like, it's probably been at least 5 years since I've used it, and I'm trying to remember what I used it in. I almost think I used it in, smoothies, but I had, like, I'm pretty sure I was using strawberries and bananas and stuff like that, but I don't remember. I probably would remember if I disliked it, but the thing is, like, I ended up switching to just, like, a regular protein powder because I can't remember how much protein the PB2 had in it, and it's milk protein, right? Or casein protein, it's not whey, right? It's not whey isolate. I gotta download StreamYard tonight. Yeah, and you're gonna be doing it from your, computer too, right? So you'll be able to use a lot of the StreamYard function for free. I'm gonna put in with 2 bananas and a scoop of chocolate protein powder. Oh, that does sound oh my god, actually, Marky, that sounds really, really good. Oh, that sounds really good. I miss fruit. I don't eat fruit anymore because of the sugar, but I don't know. I'm very curious to know, like, if I implement more carbs into my diet, if I'll start gaining weight. Because I could always eat carbs before and not gain weight after I had lost it originally. So I don't know. I don't know if my body has changed or if it was Alexapro and it just took time, I don't know. Laptop. Okay, good. I had somebody gifted me one of those, oh, I forget what it's called. Is it the Bullet? I think it's called the Bullet maybe, and it's meant for, like, smoothies, but I didn't get super into the smoothie thing. I did it a few times, but I used it a couple of times for, like, vegetables because I was too lazy to chop them. I'm not eating fruit right now either. Oh, really, Tara? Any specific reason why? I have to decide what I'm gonna have for a Christmas cookie tonight. I was really nervous, honestly, you guys, having this huge fucking tin of cookies here because I'm not good with moderation. It's very hard for me. But haven't had any yet today. I did have one little one in my mom's while we were baking, but the sugar. Okay, but you eat cookies every day though, don't you? Or no? Don't you eat the sourdough cookies every day? I don't know how I will like streaming with a laptop with my double chin. I mean, I do it. You can angle it differently. I just don't have the equipment to do it. Like I I did it once actually where I stacked up a bunch of That's why I wanted to film on my cell phone, but where I stacked up a bunch of books so I could have it more at like an angle like this so that you couldn't like my face didn't look as fat, but y'all know what I look like at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. Well, fruit sugar is natural sugar. So it's technically I mean, it's healthier than like added sugar because it's it takes your glucose a lot longer to rise and a lot longer to fall, so it's better on the it's better on the glycemic index, but things that Tara's using, like the xylitol, erythritol, they're sugar alcohols, so they're chemicals, they're artificial. Stevia is not artificial, stevia is all natural, but they don't affect your glucose. So it's given, it's pros and cons. Like I said, I use stevia, and if in a pinch, if I have to, I'll use other artificial sweeteners just because I like to avoid sugar. But I don't love sugar alcohols. But you kinda gotta it's one of those things where it's like, "Okay, am I gonna eat a chemical that's probably not gonna make me gain weight, or am I gonna eat the real thing that's gonna make me gain weight?" And I'm gonna choose the chemical. Xylitol is a very, very toxic product to animals. Very toxic to animals. Like emergency vet stomach pumped toxic. I mean, I ingest xylitol every single day, probably because I think xylitol is primarily used in, it's like the main sweetener, I feel like that's used in gum. So I'm ingesting xylitol all day anyway. I think the nicotine gum has xylitol, and I think the Orbit gum actually, the Orbit gum might have erythritol. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, you just pick and choose your battles, you know? Sugar straight to the vein, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would much prefer fructose, I would much prefer natural sugar, but I just like again, like, it's hard for me to moderate that kinda stuff. I should show you guys the big ass honey, I gotta get up, the big ass thing of cookies I brought home. Honey, you gotta get up, sorry, because I really have to end this in, like, just a couple of minutes. Oh, my neck hurts. I don't like the chemical yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't love them either, but I'd rather use the chemicals and not gain weight, to be honest with you. Hang on. Sorry. Super bright, but okay, so look at this. Oh, the lid's gonna pop off. Look at this freaking tin of cookies. I don't even remember what these are the ones we made today, except I did red and green today, and I forget what they're called, but they're really good and I like them because they're not super rich. There's these ones. I forgot what these ones are. I forget what those ones are called too. These are like some of my favorites, the peanut butter ones. And then the classic cutouts. I'm getting glitter all over I don't remember what any of them are called. These ones. And then they're still making gingerbreads, which are fine. I hate gingerbread cookies, I think. I got sprinkles on my laptop. I'm gonna probably walk into something. Okay. I like the alternative sweeteners because they don't cause spikes in blood sugar. Right. Yeah, exactly, Tara. Exactly. They don't cause tooth decay. That surprises me. Kind of. But and on the other hand, not overly. Has anyone tried those Hershey pretzels? Please do. I can't be alone. No, I haven't. Which surprises me too because I love sweet and salty together, but these days I feel like when I cheat and eat sugar, it's usually stuff that's homemade. I didn't make it, but that's homemade. Monk fruit is a really good one to use, yeah. I used to be addicted to those pretzels. I am now. I can't stop. Sugar cookies. Yeah, and it's funny too because I'm not a milk drinker, but when I eat cookies, I always crave milk, especially the peanut butter cookies. Yeah, well, those ones were the quickest and easiest to make, the peanut butter ones, but I wish I could remember the names of them. I'm so bad. My memory is so bad. Snickerdoodles, but my mom calls them Holly Doodles, and that's the only name I remember. But all right, guys, I gotta get ready to wrap this up. It's 9:30. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. I'm hungry. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and we will be able to reconvene on Morrison's live stream on Saturday, which will be nice. We won't have to wait. Oh, I was gonna say we won't have to wait till Wednesday, but didn't Kevin say that he might stream this Sunday? Did you guys hear him say that? You just reminded me I have a gluten-free brownie. Ah, there you go. We have to have fake milk over here. Oh, lactose intolerant. Rob's lactose intolerant, but he still drinks milk. Um, I'm probably lactose intolerant. They say most people are after weight loss surgery, but I don't really have I mean, I eat a lot of cheese, but lots of love. Thanks for another fun stream, Kimmy. Oh, well, I'm glad you were here, Tara. Kevin might stream Sunday, but he's not sure. Yeah. I thought that's what he said. We'll see. But yeah, I hope to see everybody Saturday night on Morrison's stream. I think he said 6 p.m. Eastern, right, Morrison? I might be a little late, but I will be there. I shouldn't be late. I'm going to try not to be, but I may be a few minutes late. So yeah, I hope everybody has a good night, good weekend. Marky, I'm expecting that picture of your Christmas tree. All right. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.